You guys find it kind of funny that this is, New York's one of New York's biggest. This probably is New York's biggest racing day of the year, right? Like, I mean,
For a full day, yeah.
I know
Yeah.
Saratoga's got a lot of big days, but Belmont just kind of crams everything into this one day, where it's probably Saratoga would spread it over a weekend or something. But it's kind of funny, we got New York's biggest day, and Road Warrior is not going to be around. What's up with that?
That's a shame. Where is he at anyway?
I forgot. Is he at the game? No, he's not an Isles fan. Is he? Maybe he is. I don't remember. He messaged me though. He said he was going to miss it, and then he said to have a good show. But yeah, shout out to Road Warrior. Hopefully he catches up with us after the fact. But yeah, we're on the wrong lead. We're going to be talking about Belmont Stakes Day here. I mean, yeah. What do we got? 9. How many stakes races do we got, Mark?
9.
9.
All of them.
Yeah.
I'm bad at counting, so I run out of fingers and just
I was thinking to myself earlier today when I looked at this card, better or worse than the Derby card on the whole?
Better.
That's what I was thinking.
Way better.
I mean, this card is stacked. I mean, the Belmont Stakes, I wouldn't say it's better than the Derby itself, but it's a stacked card overall.
Yeah, I think it's definitely better. But I'm back on my I hate all things Churchill Downs because of my incredible cold streak there. So I'm all about Belmont. But yeah, we're going to talk about Friday real quick. I know there's a couple of big days here on our big races on Friday. Was there anything in particular that kind of stuck out to you, Caleb, about Friday?
On Friday, so
Yeah.
I only kind of glanced at it. I did more of my deep dive on Saturday, but I will say that the New York on Friday, which I think is race 9, might be the best race that I've seen on paper anyway this year. And it's a shame that's a grade 2 because that is every bit of a grade 1 field. Big turf field, going, fillies and mares going 1.25 miles. I think your favorite is like 3-1 or 4-1, like not a heavy favorite at all. A ton of different ways you can go in that race. Really an awesome race. I'm hoping the weather holds up so that we don't have to deal with any kind of nastiness as far as off the turf or anything goes, but really excited for the New York. It's going to be a great race.
Actually, go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to say, I think that could be the best race of the 2 days when you get right down to it. One of the, at least best from a betting standpoint, big competitive field. If you can't find a price in that race, then you're not very good at finding prices. You can make it. There's a lot of G1 winner types who are in here who are going to go off at 12 to 15 to 1 range. So there's tons of value in that race. And yeah, I would agree with Caleb that race I'm very excited for.
Actually, I was excited about the 7th, the True North, because actually I had a price that I really like that I feel like I'm going to get its price is going to grow come post time, and it's American Power. This 4, I really like this 4 to try to steal this race on the front end. Like I think it's got a good chance for like a souped up Naira track, get out there on the front and just wire the field. And you've got Firenze Fire in there. You've got I want to say, looking at bikinis, Chad Brown Horse, Flagstaff. Like I feel like that you're going to get a great price on American Power, and it's a shot worth taking.
Yeah, I know, Chase. I think you were also looking at the New York. You were looking at one of those 2-day doubles coming out of New York.
Yeah, I liked the New York. I wanted to play this double in the New York and completely try to get around like Harvey's little Goyle. And let me see. I can't remember who I used. I want to say it was like the 1, 2, 5, and 6, maybe. Let me see. The 2, 5, 6, and 12. So Virginia Joy. Oh, never mind. I did use my Harvey's Little Oil. Never mind. My point is moot.
Were you trying to get around Mean Mary? Is that who you were trying to get around that race?
Yeah, I am. I thought Mean Mary's actually going to get some heat in this one as opposed to that Pimlico race, and the figures from that Pimlico race came back super weak. So I thought maybe like an off-pace horse would steal it, and I could get around Mean Mary. I hadn't seen morning lines yet. What is Mean Mary at?
7 or 9-2.
9-2.
That's all you can say about that.
I thought she was going to. So this was one of those morning lines that I kind of was like, I was surprised too. I thought that Mean Mary was going to go off as your favorite here, but this will be one I'll keep my eye on for a possible win bet, or like you said, I'll probably look at the doubles in and out of this race. I actually really like Harvey's Little Oil in the spot, so that will probably be where I would be putting money towards in this race. The other horse I actually did like in this race, I did like the 6 Civil Union quite a bit. But I was just looking. I thought maybe this might burn up on the front end. Oh, there is Road Warrior. I thought he wasn't going to be here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know if you're done with your point, Josh, but
I got surprised. I got surprised by Road Warrior. It just knocked me off.
Completely lost your train of thought. He causes people to do that. The horse that I'm most interested in this race, and no one's mentioned yet, is the 9 Thundering Knights. You're talking a horse that came out and graded stakes placed multiple times in Europe and ships across the pond, fits really well in time form, and assuming that they do get going a little bit quick on the front end, definitely one that has quite a bit of closing punch. Johnny V hops up, which I do definitely like at Naira, and I think I think Thundering Knights is super interesting, and also a horse that 6-1 on the morning line. Wouldn't be surprised if you get something like a 10-1, because there's enough star power in this race that this is the type of horse that gets lost on the board.
I didn't know what to make of a Euro shipper shipping in and not getting thrown on the Lasix for like the Chad Brown, Aiden O'Brien speedball move. So not to knock it. I mean, I think it's probably worth a play. It's just I didn't know what to make of it. Was my only concern.
I think with a lot of the U.S. stakes now going without Lasix, it's there's a lot of horse. I think this may be a without Lasix race, is it not?
All the great stakes.
Yeah, all the greatest stakes are without Lasix, so you're not going to get that ship over get Lasix angle, on the Belmont card. But I do you say that. That's normally the thing you look for. Obvious bleeder, last eye ships to the U.S. and you get a price. So
right.
I got a British gamer here in the chat saying conviction trip 9-1 in the Belmont Gold Cup. Surely worth a punt. It's the 4 here. It's going to be interesting because it's probably going to have a jock change. Irad took a spill today, and I know he was. I think he was stretchered off. So I don't know if Irad's going to be riding this weekend. Probably not, if I had to guess. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to his mounts there.
That's a tough race.
Yeah, I landed on the 2 and the 3 there. The Graham Motion and one of the makers.
Tide of the Sea and
Zayad.
I've definitely burned lots of money on Tide of the Sea. It's definitely a Josh money burner horse. I haven't looked at this race yet, so I wouldn't be able. I think all you guys like Baron Samedi, right?
I do. I think if you
heard a lot.
Past him, the race gets wide open, but I do think he's kind of the standout. Overseas shipper coming in off of 6 wins in a row. Maybe our British punter friend or British gamer friend can shed some light, because I don't follow the European racing scene all that closely, but this horse comes in looking like he's in pretty sharp form. I'd be interested if you guys had any opinions on this horse.
Yeah, it looks like the horse was okay, and it looks like Irad's been released from the hospital. So good to hear that he's already out. But yeah, I don't know if they've said anything about this weekend.
I didn't know what to make of Baron Samedi. You're going to take a ton of money in U.S. pools. Sort of the logical whatever horse makes a ton of sense on paper. All those wins in a row, and I think this one could get super short. Your most likely winner, of course, probably wins this. 50% of the time, judging by the field, but I think there's some value to be made trying to get around Baron Samedi in here, just given how much money I'm going to assume the horse takes. And, of course, I like the Joseph O'Brien horse last time I mentioned, but he is over 3 shipping to the United States. So
I never know what to make of, things like one at 20-1 last time out. Like, did the horse win at 20-1 last time out because it's like an absolute diamond in the rough and it's going, people just didn't realize it, or is it 20? I think the right setup. I never really know without watching these replays.
Well, here's the thing: the Barons, won last out at 20-1, but won the race before that, so it was a G3 one at 20-1. The race before that, he won a G2 at 2-1. So
yeah,
what
happened? Why were
the odds like that? I don't know who else was in that field. So maybe it was just a field or whatever, but it's a little head scratchy at that price. One thing I will say about Baron Samedi that is also a little bit of a question mark. If you look at all his wins, all his big performances have come across fairly heavy going. The fastest track he's been on was good in the last race. A lot of heavies, a lot of yieldings, a lot of softs, and especially when you're saying that coming out of European racing, that's going to be real heavy going. Obviously Belmont got a lot of water, but it's not going to be anywhere near that. So will he be able to handle a faster, more US good type turf course?
Right.
And it looks like British Gamer saying that that grade 2 was coming out of the second place, came back and won a grade 1 after the fact. So yeah, and if you look at his last race too, Emperor of the Sun came back and won next time out as well. So this is a tough horse to get around. I think I like I said, I haven't dove deep into this, and these races are always tough. These really long marathon races, just because we don't see a lot of them. But I know we are going to talk about some dirt marathons, which I know is one of Caleb's favorites.
Close to his heart.
Things. Yeah. But like I said, if you guys got questions about certain races or anything, feel free to ask in the chat. But we're gonna kind of go quick here. But I'll try and be fast on the gun here on the questions. So we're gonna start. We're just gonna go right into Saturday. We're gonna go here. The Woody Stevens Grade 1, 7 furlongs on the dirt. Mark, I'll let you start off. What are you thinking here?
I sort of head scratched at myself how they sort of carded this sequence, because obviously there's an early pick 5 and there's a pick 4 that starts the race prior, but there's not a ton of races going through this, and a lot of times they do it where you think you're gonna have a short priced favorite and they don't want it part of a multi-race sequence. And I'm wondering if that's what they were thinking about with Jackie's Warrior. Is thinking that Jackie's Warrior is going to be obviously your most likely winner in here, probably has the most accredited horse in the field. But I thought you could make a case for a few others in here, just as well. I think that Jackie Warrior is probably your most likely winner. That Pate Mao was a real good race. Obviously the main foe in that last out was Dream Shake. Dream Shake does make quite a bit of sense in here as well. Both of them, and Dream Shake may have more upside, just being a little bit more of a lightly raced colt. And I also thought you can make a case for somebody like Drain the Clock, who is 2 for 3 at the distance. A horse that needs to probably take a small step forward to be a player in here, but I didn't really have any sort of creative opinions on an outsider or a price horse in here. I think your three, probably your top 3 choices on the board were the 3 that I thought made the most sense.
As someone who has been singled to Jackie's Warrior a couple of times, one of which being the pick 4 on Breeders' Cup Friday last year to end it, Jackie's Warrior. I don't fucking trust Jackie's Warrior at all. I don't disagree that it's very much going to be a contender. I don't disagree that Drain the Clock is very much going to be a contender. I feel like we're going to have a breakout race from Caddo River here. I think Caddo River's cutting back to the distance where Caddo River is going to be an absolute superstar, which is the 7 furlong, 8 furlong, 1 turn kind of race. I feel like this distance hits Caddo River smack between the eyes. It's going to be able to do the Knicks Go thing of just run really fucking fast for a mile. I think that's the way that they're going to attack it. And if that's the case, I think that can kind of nullify Jackie's Warrior, because we've seen what happens when Jackie's Warrior gets beat to the spot, like in the Breeders' Cup, which, how can we forget that one? And, Drain the Clock. I mean, the same thing. What happens when you beat that horse to the spot? So I'm 100% all over Caddo River in this race. I'm not sure if I single it, if I'm playing it in just like a sequence that's only Saturday. I definitely single it, playing some of the doubles that they've got into this one, like with the True North into the Woody Stevens, like that one. I feel like I've got great contrarian picks there with Miss Brazil, and I can go like Miss Brazil into a single to like Caddo River, because I don't think that Caddo River is going to get very much respect on the board.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't knock someone for taking the 4th pick in a 6-horse field, I guess. But my biggest opinion is I'm against Caddo River in this race.
Yeah.
I think he's a need to lead horse that has 0 chance of getting the lead in this race. Jackie's Warrior is infinitely faster. Drain the Clock is faster. And I just don't think this feels like an afterthought. We're not good enough to make the Derby. He can't really go a mile. I mean, so let's try him in the Woody Stevens. Why not? I think you have some really legit sprinters in here in the 3 choices with Drain the Clock, Jackie's Warrior, and then Dream Shake. I prefer Dream Shake probably to all of them, just because I think he sits the best trip. Jackie's Warrior is probably going to be sent. Drain the Clock is probably going to be sent. Caddo River is probably going to be sent. I think Dream Shake kind of gets that nice trip. Stalking the pace. I would probably caution anyone to take that last race in the Pat Day Mile with a big pinch of salt. It looks like they were going just blazing up front, but that was the first race where Churchill totally juiced up the track, and it played 2 seconds faster than it did the early part of the card. So I'm not even really paying that much attention to that figure. Just the fact that I think he's a talented horse that's clearly better going a mile or 7 furlongs, and I think that he gets the right trip today.
Jay's out here. He's talking a little bit about this 5, trying to use this 5 underneath with this what might be really fast pace here. I
like it. Actually, I do like that quite a bit. That's a horse that I would 100% consider underneath 2-Lane Tris.
I think I kind of see the race the same way you do, Caleb. Like you see Jackie's Warrior, who's gonna probably get the lead or should get the lead. And I definitely think that Caddo River is going to be there and really push the pace along with Drain the Clock. So I think it does set up for a horse coming off. I haven't really looked at the rest of I haven't looked at the first 2 races, so I don't know if I'll be playing a pick 5 or anything like that in this spot. But like in these short fields, like I try not to take too many horses as a general rule, unless I'm really finding the better, like a spot where I'm going to be narrow later on. So this will probably be a spot where I would probably single a horse like Dream Shake and just try and get around the rest of the short price horses in this race. But speaking, I know I meant to ask you guys before we started this, like, so Saturday's card, you got all these stakes races, you got all these. How many pick 4s? We got 4 pick 4s. 3 pick 4s. Mark, you normally know all this stuff. That's why I'm asking you.
I think there's 4 pick 4s,
4 pick 4s, 4 pick 4s, 3 pick 5s, and a pick 6, and then obviously all the doubles, the daily doubles, and the other 2-day races that play into those.
So where's your money going? Like what are you playing?
I think you have to look at both of these 2 days, find sit down and handicap them, spend your time, put in the effort, figure out what sequences you have an opinion in, and then play around with what falls into those sequences. So for me, it's like in the sixth race, I feel like I have a very strong opinion there, and I'll play races, or I'll play sequences that go through that sixth race. And I think that's how you have to approach a card like this. There's a huge number of betting opportunities here. Find the best betting opportunities that work into your strongest opinions.
Chase, I know you're a real big guy about planning your day out. So what's going to be your plan for Saturday?
I really don't know yet. I really want to see how much rain they get, how it affects the track tomorrow, and how it's going to affect it going forward. I mean, it's hard to. What I've figured out with these stakes days and these large cards is that sometimes you find that the first half of the card is going to play absolutely nothing like the second half of the card. And so while it's worth planning out your entire day, when it gets these big cards, I'd rather plan out my first half, see what happened in the first half, and then plan out my second half of the day based off what I'm seeing. Looking at this, I mean, I might get into some of the deeper horizontal sequences, the pick fours, pick fives. I honestly, though, am probably going to try to stick to doubles that I can find value in, and try to just tattoo doubles. If I can find what looks like good value on my picks in a race in the double going into the next race, then I'll 100% go after it.
Caleb.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the sequences enough to really say one way or another. Like, I haven't capped the first two or the last two, so I really can't even talk to the early or the late pick five. But yeah, it's going to be tough for me to play big horizontals, I think, like the pick five, because there's a lot of races, and like race 3 we just talked about, where I probably want to use 3 horses to feel safe, quote unquote, but the 3 horses I use are going to be 7-5, 5-2, and 7-2. And that's just not a good bet. I mean, you don't want to be 3 deep in a 6-horse field with the top 3 choices. I mean, that's not a way to distinguish yourself or to, create any kind of separation from the masses. So I have a lot of opinions that I sort of feel like that. So I'm not sure if I'll just skip those sequences, or if I'll maybe attack something a little shorter and just press my best opinion. But yeah, it's a tough card, I would say.
I would say, Caleb, that was very much what the point I was trying to make, was that, if your best opinions are the 2 favorites are your top 2 choices and you want them as A's, and then the next 2 on the board are your next 2 choices and you want them as B's, you probably shouldn't be playing through that race, because you don't have any sort of real opinion. You're just agreeing with what the board has or morning lines have. And, that's not how you find value. You find value by having opinions, or, hey, geez, if of those 4 horses, I only like one of them. Well, then you're going to be able to extract some value to that sequence. So find those places on this card where you have those very strong opinions.
I think the way I'll most likely attack it is I'll go through each race. I'll find who I think my most likely winner is, who my most attractive win bet is, and I'll go ahead and set a floor price for each horse. Like, okay, for all of these, especially since I'm getting like a money back special on every single race during the Belmont Stakes weekend. Like, I will go ahead and set my floor price for the horse and say, all right, this is who I want to win bet. If I don't get these odds, then I pass on it, and then probably just run through a lot of keyed exactas, a lot of keyed doubles, and just try to take my best opinion and find where that value is, and try to do that. Like, if I were to set an overarching opinion for the day, that's probably how I'm going to do it. Will I dabble in the pick 5? Maybe, but I'm probably not going to spend more than like $12 on it. I'm really just going to try to just ass hammer my opinion on the card,
Yeah, I mean, that's when I was most successful this year, right? Is when not playing the pick 5, not playing the pick 6, but finding doubles and pick 3s and finding horses I want to key stuff around. So I'm kind of moving more back towards that. Mostly doubles at this point, but yeah, I think
I'd rather take the $20 that I was going to invest in a pick 5 and just use that as a really strong $20 daily double bet.
Yeah,
and it might pay more than what the pick 5 could pay.
It's true. All right, so let's kind of move on. And like I said, if you guys got questions in the chat, feel free to ask. If you guys got anything you guys want to talk about here, but we're just going to kind of go through these races. Race 4, the Brooklyn, Caleb's favorite division. outside of the turf marathon. Yeah,
older turf marathon horse,
the older dirt marathon horse. So Caleb,
open up your heart and let that hate out.
You know, I really didn't think there could be anything worse than the older male turf marathon division. But at least when you get to that division, like one of the, 6 or 8 usual suspects probably wins. They just like take turns and you never know which one it's going to be. I mean, maybe it's like Channel Maker one day or Channel Cat or some other horse that's named after English Channel. It doesn't matter. But like one of them generally will win a lot of the time. But with this dirt marathon division, it's like, people are still betting Campaign and Rocketry like it's 2016. I mean, there hasn't been a new player in this division in like what feels like a decade. I mean, Bob Baffert was still a good trainer and universally liked at the time that there was new blood in this division. So yeah, I hate this race. This race probably makes me want to not play the early pick 5 if I think about playing it anyway. That being said, I mean, it feels like there's always some new horse that jumps up and wins these things. Like, I don't know, like that Cupid's Claws horse jumped up at Santa Anita, I think, or somewhere and won that big race. And then there's always some like nobody. Josh had that Brazilian horse or whatever that almost won and then got beat by Rocketry. Marinake, that's who it was. Like, there's always just some random horse that runs a monster race you couldn't see coming. So I don't know. If I had to pick a horse here, it would be Lone Rock, the 9.
I mean, how can you argue it? I mean, you've got the AP Indy bloodline going 1.5 miles at Belmont. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Bingo.
I mean, he 3 2 for 3
race.
the distance, like, with a second place to, Carlos L 3 back. Now, I mean, was he beating up on a lot of bums? Like, probably. But I don't see any monsters in here. I mean, Tiz Magician's the favorite, and that says a lot. So, if they're, if the 5 would scratch, maybe I would look at Tiz Magician a little bit harder. But, I just don't think he's going to kind of get that trip. He's been enjoying it at Santa Anita. I don't think he's going to ship in well. So I'll be against him as the favorite. But, I'd probably need some combination of Moretti, Lone Rock, and maybe Agilweed. But I don't know. It's a goofy race.
Jay with an interesting approach. He says the marathon division, you toss the horses that won their last race, then handicap the race, toss your horses, and then just take the rest of them.
That actually sounds like Caleb's strategy. Actually,
I like that so much.
So that means Campaign is going to be on your tickets there, Caleb.
Yeah, that means box up a Campaign and you're to blame exacta.
Campaign, yeah. I don't know. This is I kind of took the same approach. I mean, I know we talked a little bit before this, but I think if I'm playing something early or if I want to play like a double or something from the last race, Lone Rock is probably the horse I want here. I don't have I think 9-2 is a good price. I mean, we'll see what we get, right? I think if you get anything 4-1 or better on Lone Rock, I think you're getting the right price. The horse is just in awesome form right now, and I feel like a lot of these older horses, once they kind of get rolling, like until they fall off of form, like you keep betting them. So this horse is going to be right there. So I mean, yeah, Lone Rock makes a ton of sense to me here. I know Chase was a fan of Lone Rock as well.
Yeah, I probably play Lone Rock, but honestly, I probably pass this race. Like it feels super dicey to either A, play this race, or B, play this race and single race wagers. Like maybe a win bet. I don't run a vertical. I don't run a horizontal here or play vertical in this race though.
Yeah, Mark, I think you had a different opinion, right?
No, not really. Honestly, I'll take a similar tack to what Chase went with is the fact that I'd have to be so spread in this race to have any confidence in getting through it that it's not. I probably would not play anything in this sequence. I think that when I capped it, I thought there were 7 potential winners. I'm not going to get the kind of value I would need to play a ticket that's that wide. So, I think somebody like Musical Heart could go all the way on the front end. There's no reason he couldn't. Tis a Magician, sure, he could, win. I mean, he does that occasionally. And I think Lone Rock also makes a ton of sense, which you guys, talked up and down. So what I find a situation like this where I don't really have a legitimate opinion. And I feel like I could be super, super, super deep unless I have opinions elsewhere in the sequence that are very strong and I can sort of buy this race and hope for a price. I'll just skip it. It's not a race I liked at all.
Like my biggest thing, like my biggest opinion in this race is I wouldn't bet Tis the Magician in this race with somebody else's money. And now the reason being is, look at Brisnet's speed figures are very flawed, right? But the one thing that you and everybody knows about Brisnet's speed figures is as the distance gets longer and longer, the numbers get more and more inflated. Brisnet gave that Tokyo City for Tis a Magician an 87, which is just like for a graded stakes,
which is a legitimate 187 for me. Actually, betting that horse just murdered any chance that I would bet Tis a Magician. I decided to make a 187 joke. Fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, that number should be inflated. So if an 87 is the inflated number, God only knows what the real fig on that race is. And I haven't looked at time form real closely or DRF to see what other fig you got in there. But
time form and DRF both disagree with you, and they both really like that last race out of Tis Magician. So okay. I don't know why, but I mean, it is his last two races are the fastest two races in the entire field. But on almost both products. So it was flattered. But again, I completely agree with what you guys are saying. A horse doesn't love to win, and a horse that I don't know if wants to go this far. And this is a lot classier race than what he was winning. So yeah, there's a ton of question marks, and I just don't feel confident.
Yeah. Thorograph also loved that last race at Santa Anita, but his sheets pattern screams bounce off that big race actually. So we'll see.
That's a drink on the Thoroughgraph's drinking game. Someone said the word bounce.
Well, yep. I need more White Russian.
There we go. So let's actually talk about some good horses, huh? We got the Grade 1 Acorn here, going a mile for fillies, three-year-old fillies here.
I'm just sad we can't see Gamine running this one again. Silver hair, fuck.
Oh man. So I guess I was a little surprised to see search results show up as even money on the morning line. I mean, do we really think that this horse is going to be odds on in this race?
Oh, I mean, it's New York, it's Chad.
I don't think search results will be even money. I think you'll get more in that 7 to 5 range, 8 to 5 maybe. But I do think that search results is probably a single on any ticket I would have that comes through here.
Yeah, this is one of the races where I do want to actually play a little more aggressively because I'm not against search results. I was very against her in the Oaks. She ran a great race. So like obviously
one of us was right and one of us was wrong. And
I like Malafat.
I'll bring it back
like
again.
search results. So I mean, I guess
okay.
Results.
If we just listen to one another, world's easiest exacta.
But I was dead wrong last time about Day Out of the Office. I was heavily against that horse, and she ran huge. She missed a couple of works. She had to scratch out another race. I thought that was too tough of a spot to make her come back. And I thought she ran huge. I mean, if you watch that race, it was a very fast pace. This was before they really juiced up the track, so that's a very honest pace. She made an early move into it. I mean, opened up 2-length turn for home. The other pace setters finished last and next to last, if you throw out the Baffert who bled and got pulled up. So, by far was the best of the horses that were involved in that early pace. And just got a little tired late. I think that off the long layoff, I just think she needed that race. I was very against her, and I was impressed with the effort she put in. Obligatory won that race, and you can see where she came from. I mean, dead last to close. So I think Day Out of the Office is going to be a lot fresher, having the race under her belt now. I think a mile's about as far as she wants to go. I don't think she wants 2 turns, but I think this is really the perfect race for her here. So I'm excited to probably have a couple of bets going through day out of the office here.
Give me Miss Brazil. Give me Miss Brazil multiple times if possible. I really like Miss Brazil. And don't laugh at me. I have fucking legitimate reasons for liking Miss Brazil. You son of you fucking oh God.
I love your dedication to the aqueduct horses.
When you smile and I can see your dimples a little bit better, it just makes me love you and hate you a little bit more all at the same time. You fucking charismatically good looking fuck. Miss Brazil. Okay, so I have a great case for this horse. Okay, first of all, horse really hasn't done anything wrong. It got beat by search results. That's fair. Barely beat by search results at the mile distance. Running on the aqueduct track, yeah, sure, those fractions were slow, but aqueduct fractions were slow all winter. It was just a very slow surface. So anytime you look at those aqueduct fractions coming out of the winter meet, you have to consider that like 24 seconds is more like 23 and a half. 23 and a half is more like 22 and a half in sprints. And so this horse keeps winning, and it also has this really distinct pattern of runs once, pops the second time, lay off. Runs again, pops the second time, lay off. It took a step forward last race. If it can take a step forward like it does in every single one of its races, second off of a layoff, second start, then the horse is going to pop for a big figure that I don't think that anyone else in this field can match. You've got just a smoking workout on May 28th where you had where she worked 47 over 4 furlongs. I think this horse 100% has the right to be considered and not, fucking dimple laughed out of consideration. Like I don't see why Miss Brazil can't be a 100%, win contender here. A fucking 50-50 lock.
I was not laughing at your pick. I was laughing at you picking another aqueduct horse after whoever it was in the earlier race that you liked and the aqueduct horse shipping in.
I stay true to the game. I stay true to that winter duct game, son. If this horse had been shipping from fucking parks or working out at parks,
that's even better.
God damn! Remember how I told you guys how much I had in my 401k earlier today? Yeah.
So I guess my thing with it, I'm not going to beat up Miss Brazil. Could she win? Of course she could win. My thing is here, you're going to get 5-1 on her. Do you really think she wins this race more than 20% of the time? And I just don't. So I think she's a horse from a value standpoint, just does not make a lot of sense. Can she win? Yeah, of course. I can see a situation where she can, she needs to improve off that optional 80, where you have other ones who need to run back to the G1 they ran in the last time out. So she's facing a lot tougher company here that she needs to improve into. And you need her to take a step forward. As Caleb says, from the jockey from 2010, I don't know. It doesn't get me all excited at 5-1.
This is the other thing is let's look at scroll down to search results. I'm going to show you this technique I have. It's called I don't feel like paying for thoroughgraphs. So if we look, what we really see, we see an 86 and then 100 and then a 96 and then 103. That's the horse is clearly set up for a thoroughgraph bounce next out because it's got
these are Briggs Fizz that are like, just write whatever number you feel.
Regardless.
Like a dartboard is more accurate than Briggs Fizz.
The horse has an on-off pattern, man, and so I think that the horse is going to be Briggs
are the only sheets that say on-off pattern. If you look at time form,
you mean the most accurate
improved
sheets.
Every single
way. And thank you. Please,
there's no reason that search result doesn't take another step forward here, like she has in her first 4 starts every single time. She steps forward a little bit here, she destroys.
Wrong.
You've had too much white Russian. Too much white Russian.
No such thing. Wrong.
What'd you like, Josh?
I am also fading the 6 in this spot. I don't.
Right here,
I'm not going to take odds on a Chad Brown dirt horse. I don't care if we're in New York or Gulfstream or I don't care if we're at Fauner Park. I'm not going to take odds on a Chad dirt horse.
He do be sucking on dirt though.
I'm gonna actually be a little bit spread in this race because I kind of have a hard time kind of getting around this. So I think I'm kind of A/B this. I think Day Out of the Office makes the most sense in this spot. So I'm going to go ahead and use Day Out of the Office as an A. Pretty much all the same reasons you kind of mentioned, Caleb. I think the Day Out of the Office makes a ton of sense. I'm also going to use Obligatory. You know, I mean, I look at this race and I see a bunch of speed signed up. So this might just set up the same way as Obligatory's last race. So might be more of a B type for me.
Hold on, I'm googling when Belmont's birthday is. 1 second, I'll be right back with you. Birthday.
I also
it's
July 29th.
A couple months away.
Yeah, we're almost there. It's Saratoga, so set your calendars.
I also like Travel Column in this spot, so I'm gonna give Travel Column another chance off of that last effort. But
I 100% think that Search Results is going to be far over bet. And to me, I do feel like there is value in Miss Brazil. At 5-1, do I think the horse can win? What you said, 20% of the time? Yeah, I really do, quite honestly. I don't discount the fact when a horse just keeps moving forward. And also I love these on-off, second race pop kind of patterns. So I do think there's value there. That's all I'm going to say. And I feel like there's absolutely no value in Search Results.
Yeah, Chase, I don't want to cut Josh off, but I agree. I have Miss Brazil marked as that underneath key for me. I don't think she can win, really, unless the track is just crazy juiced. But, I mean, if you look at what Dutro's Barn is doing this year, I mean, 40% winners, 88% in the money in 2021 out of 25 starters. I mean, not a huge sample, but, certainly not 5 or 6 starters. And, this horse will be your pace setter in all likelihood. So, yeah, I'm very interested in using that horse underneath. But
Steve Baffert should take a page out of Anthony Dutro's book. I feel like the Steve Baffert barn could really start firing in a couple years.
But Josh, anyway, back to your pick, Obligatory.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think with looking at the pace scenario here, I think this could set up against for Obligatory. I think Day Out of the Office is going to be probably sitting third or fourth here in this race, and I think she'll be set up pretty good. And then Travel Column has come from off the pace, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of tactics they employ on Travel Column here. But I just think that Miss Brazil and Search Results. I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of speed in this race. But how many times have we said that? And then, when just one horse gets out there loose on the lead, Search Results will sit a chilly second and just win for fun. But
yeah, I'm against Travel Column, despite having some investments in her other places. But I think the Fairgrounds form kind of got exposed in the Oaks. I mean, we saw what Travel Column and Clariere did. And those were the two standouts going into the Oaks. So I think she's better around 2 turns, and I think this is a weird spot kind of on the cutback here. I do think she's better off the pace. I really don't think she wants the lead, so that could help with the presence of Miss Brazil being in here to sort of let her have a target to track after. But at 7-2, I'll be very against Travel Column.
All right, so we spent 20 minutes on a 6-horse race, and Mark is going to be right, and Search Results is going to win for fun. But
Chase, your girl Kelsey's about ready to steal this. Yeah, there she goes.
Is she painting with all the colors of the wind?
Dude, all the colors of the wind were just painted, and she just rolled on by. Very nice ride. Very, very nice.
Who won the race before?
That was the one who I did not see at all. I just whatever. But no, Kelsey though, very, very nice, very nice, best possible, like that.
As usual, Mark with his weeknight degenning. But let's move on to the Jaipur. So
this is a pretty good race.
It is, but I don't know. Did you guys? I download these Brisnuts and I think I have an issue in here. I see Bound for Nowhere is entered into this race, and I thought Bound for Nowhere already ran his one race for the year.
He, you know, it's a 50-50 shot that they scratch him because that horse is scratched out of more races than he's actually ever run in. But if he does actually make the starting gate, he's gonna win. He's an ice cold single. Go on to the next race.
If the track is playing like it was today, like today was a little bit of a mind fuck. If you've been playing and paying attention to Belmont, because like the early speed, especially on the inner turf, had just absolutely been kicking away, and then they got a ton of rain last week, and it looked like early speed was going to start kicking away, and then you had horses that just made some just dynamite closes. One at like 60-1, great price. And so I feel like with the extra moisture that you're going to see, even with what looks like a kind of like a lone speed kind of setup, you know, with Bound for Nowhere, I feel like you're still going to see a horse that can steal it from you know, off the pace. And so like a horse like Gregorian Chant, a horse like Stubbins, Fast Boat, that's another one. Alexandra, maybe, I don't know. I feel kind of icky using Alexandra because I just feel like it just always works against me when I pick Alexandra. Maybe Sambaye. Yeah, I would definitely like who is it? Jay's all over Gregorian Chant. I kind of like that play quite a bit, especially at 10-1.
Shipper.
Well, I mean, something coming from off the pace. I mean, who knows? Maybe the horse will respond a little bit better with the whip. I'm just looking at people who fit kind of the off the pace run style right now for who can beat Bound for Nowhere.
Yeah, I do agree with you but the turf today was definitely going to play heavy given the rain. Should be dry. They're not really calling for anything overnight. And
well, I mean, Roto just said it was pouring. Just said it was pouring right now.
Oh, really?
And he lives in the paddock at Belmont. So
yeah, he literally.
I thought
he literally sleeps on a bed of straw.
He has a stall.
Yeah, I thought he's on the third floor.
It's got Wi-Fi so he can do his homework.
British Gamer really likes Alexandra. Look, I'm a huge Alexandra fan.
Isn't she into full with?
She's in the full right now.
She's in full with Into Mischief.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this
she's
might
running
be,
for two.
She's running for two. This might be. There's just no pace in here. There's no pace.
Weird. It's a turf sprint with no pace.
Oh no, there's pace. It's just one horse with pace who's going to walk the dog on the front end and steal it.
So I think I'm going to AB or AC, I guess you can call this race. I think Bound for Nowhere is by far your most likely winner in this race by quite a bit. And I'm not going to get beat by Bound for Nowhere. But I am going to use the mare, use Got Stormy, the 11. I really think that this might be the only other horse that's got a chance in this race. You know, I mean, Got Stormy has shown some speed at a mile. I mean, doesn't have turf sprint speed, but at the same time, you know, I don't know. I don't see her sitting, you know, 5, 6, 7 lengths off of it like a horse like maybe like Alexandra might. You know, I think Got Stormy will be handful of lengths off, and you know, might still give herself a chance to win here if she sits kind of close to the pace. So I like Got Stormy as a B or C type, but I think Bound for Nowhere is a single A in this spot.
Yeah, this is the kind of race that I hate, like defensively using favorites, but you know, the pace here makes it tough. You know, the combination of the pace, the class, the figures. I mean, Bound for Nowhere checks a lot of boxes. My huge concern with him is that they've really managed this horse incredibly carefully, especially as he's, you know, now a certified ARP card holder. I mean, I don't know like how he's going to respond to turning back on like 2 months rest after a pretty big effort in the Shakertown last out. I mean, where he kind of, you know, fumbled the break and came out toward the rear, which is not where he wants to be, and was actually able to, you know, pull out some Rosario magic and close to beat Imprimis by a nose. That was a big race, and I just don't know how he's going to respond to that without his, you know, normal 14 to 16 months off. So I have some reservations that prevent me from like singling that horse, but I'm certainly not going to let him beat me. There's other horses in here that I was interested in. I could talk about all of them, but I'll probably just say two. The first is Completed Pass, the 3-horse. This is the kind of horse I would normally hate because he is what I would call mid-Atlantic trash coming out of the Pimlico and Laurel and Monmouth field. But he ran a pretty good third last out to a horse in the Critical Way, who I actually do respect as a turf sprinter. And shout out to Chase for picking Firecrow because that was like a nice winner that day in that turf sprint at Pimlico. But anyway, this is a horse that kind of got the parking lot draw, missed the break, was hard sent to try to get into the race. And ran a pretty nice race. I think he's one that is going to be better at 6 versus 5 and 5.5 furlongs. So I do think that he makes some sense. And at 12-1, that's a pretty nice price. And the other one I kind of liked was the 2, Casa Creed. I have burnt more money on Casa Creed than most people should ever burn. I mean, if you want to see my 401k. But I thought his last race, it seems like something clicked. He closed into a really slow pace. And I thought that race was visually, super impressive. Did he beat grade 1 horses? No, but I don't think this is really a grade 1 field. I think that maybe he is just better going a little shorter. Now, is 6 furlongs going to be a little too sharp for him without much pace? I think that's a fair concern. 8-1 is probably as short as I would want on that horse, but I think he floats up a bit. And that's a horse I might want a little bit of money going through, but it's a tough race if you really get past Bound for Nowhere. So I'll probably use him along with Casa Creed and Completed Pass.
Is it so there's no, this isn't a G1 field because there are no G1 turf sprints, right? Like that's the reasoning.
Well, it's not a grade 1 field because half these horses are coming out of allowance races or listed stakes.
So I have 2 thoughts. The first thought is it's painfully obvious that you never had to use humor as a defense mechanism after your AARP joke. God bless you, you beautiful bastard. The second thought is that let's play the jockey game here. Let's play a jockey tendency game here. I've got something for you that I think, fuck it, throw $2 to win at it. Gray's Creek. Give me an aggressive jock when there's not any other speed in this race outside of Bound for Nowhere. I think Ricardo Santana Jr. is completely capable of just going hard on turf. I mean, what do we say about Ricardo Santana Jr., Mark?
No think he just Sendy.
No think he just Sendy. If he no think he just Sendy, I mean, who knows? This is a horse that's cutting back big time in distance.
I love your case. I love your logic, but there's one big problem, and it's that first line as you start reading down his past performances where it says previously trained by Chad Brown. That's a bit of a problem there.
I mean, still owned by OXO. It's not like OXO Equine dumped the horse. They just changed it up. Maybe they thought a Wolf, a Lobo, Apollo Lobo might be a little bit more aggressive, might be hungry, might want to howl at the moon a little bit, might want to tell Ricardo, don't think he, just Cindy.
I mean, you know how like you can't date your buddy's ex-girlfriend? That's kind of like Mark with Chad Brown. Like you can't bet horses that left Chad
off limits. Off limits. No, and I will have to say that the horse will need to be like boxcar odds for me to place the bet. If somehow some sort of money
you're going to get boxcar
odds. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I have no problem throwing $2 at it.
Road Warrior, I think he likes the 12.
Yeah, somebody.
I do like the 12 Road Warrior. I usually hate California turf horses, but I do like him a little bit here. Peter Miller's a hell of a turf sprint trainer. I think 6 furlongs is what this horse wants to do. I like this horse.
So I like somebody I bet as well. Needs to improve in figures, but it wouldn't shock me if the change of circuit might shake things up. So.
And I guess, I didn't notice this till now, but you get Pratt aboard, right? And
yeah, that's a big downside, though. I mean,
you think so?
Really not a turf jock, so.
Oh, my God. But so the thing about Pratt, though.
Here we go.
Is I feel like Pratt is a really, really good judge of pace. Like, I think Pratt might actually read the form, unlike Rosario, who just like throws it out and says, "That's fine, I'll close into this."
I'm going to Jay here, by the way.
Yeah,
It's just-
Jay has the proper take on.
Jay loves
Jay
me.
has the proper take here.
Or Chad thinks the horse sucks. Well,
Yeah, somebody got evicted from the barn.
So yeah, I mean, going back to Sambaye, like, you know, we don't see a lot of pace in here, and if Rosario decides to just like strangle Bound for Nowhere once again, maybe Sambaye might be the horse that ends up on the lead. Because I'll tell you what, like, there's been numerous times where I've watched West Coast turf racing, and Pratt just makes this move that I'm like, nobody makes moves like this, and sure enough, it fucking works out. So specifically on the turf. So I don't know. Maybe Pratt gets aggressive on this Peter Miller horse and just fucking goes when he realizes that there's no pace in this race. And he's from he's stuck outside. I mean, I don't know what else his option is going to be, really.
He's got one option probably. You from a pace standpoint, assuming Bound for Nowhere breaks this time, which was the reason that the horse was rated, that just the horse didn't break last out. Yeah, he's got one option. He's got to go and probably sit off Bound for Nowhere and hope he's good enough. I don't think he's good enough, but I wouldn't fault anybody for going that direction, especially 12-1 when you're getting connections all the way around. Yeah.
What's the consensus on the horse that beat somebody? Fast Boat, the 4. I think he's your second or third pick on the morning line. So I don't love him, but
I thought neither. I honestly, my take was that neither he nor Sambaye were fast enough to compete in here. They'd never run a figure that just was competitive enough to really play in here. But if you like Sambaye, you got to like Fast Boat as well, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you look at the.
Go ahead, Chase.
Well, I mean, you look at the comments, the notes on the win last race, and you see they took a bump at the 8th pole there, and at least you know that the horse has some fucking guts and will battle. That's what I would like to point out. But other than that, that is the only thing right there.
Yeah, this is a figure discrepancy race. Comparing Brisnet to Timeform to Thoroughgraph. Brisnet really likes the race that Fast Boat came out of, that turf sprint at Churchill. It's one of the fastest figures in the field last out. Timeform absolutely hated that race. So I think that's, kind of unique. I don't know what DRF has it as, but depending on what set of figures you use, it's really going to shape what you think of Fast Boats. For me, when they don't agree, I kind of downgrade my opinion of that race on the whole. Like, I just don't really look at that race and see how he looks in past races. And I still think that Fast Boat would probably need to improve a good bit to win a race like this. But, I wouldn't throw him out entirely, but at 5-1, that's not the right price.
Yeah, I just think that, I don't know, I think Fast Boat's going to be too far back. I don't know. Like I said, this is really tough from a pace perspective because all these horses are fucking closers in these turf sprints, right? And like there's just no pace. Like I really think whoever's at the lead or within a half length at first call are the only horses that have a chance to win this race. And I think that's going to be Bound for Nowhere. It might be Sambaye. It might be Got Stormy. I think that's all you got. And I don't know what just happened there. You there, Chase?
Yeah, I'm here. My attacks of Arkansas internet seem to be not as bad as they have previously.
I think my stream's all messed up right now.
Uh-oh. You okay, Josh?
Am I all frozen?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
You lagged up, and none of the rest of us did.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I see Caleb. I see Caleb like staring at his phone. Oh, Caleb was staring at his phone. Never mind.
Yeah, sorry.
Can you guys see Chase?
I can see Chase, but I can't see Mark. Oh, Mark's not there.
No, Mark's not there. Okay. Then I'm just going to assume it's on me. Chat, let me know if you guys see something else. It looks like DJ Vasquez likes chewing gum in the spot.
Winning horse owner DJ Vasquez first. Like, DJ has a horse that I'm not muted. I don't believe I'm muted.
No, I can hear you.
Okay.
I don't like chewing gum, but you're going to get 30-1. So if you want to go for it, be my guest.
All right. Well, apparently the stream's looking good. I just can't hear Chase for some reason.
But but everyone else can apparently.
It looks like Chase is still talking, so I'm probably talking over him. So this is great. I will. I'll be right back. Let me see what happens here.
So DRF has it as a 98 for fast boat. Okay. I mean, that
Yeah,
seems
DRF
like a pretty honest fig. I mean, if you ballpark 20 points between DRF and Timeform, I mean, that would put his Timeform around 118. Timeform actually gave him a 114. So that's not too much different, but Timeform downgraded a little bit.
I don't
understand
trust West Coast figs like at all, like for anything ever. They're always inflated.
That wasn't West Coast, but yeah.
Oh, was it the Churchill? That's right. It was Churchill Downs last race.
All right, this is weird.
We can hear you. Can you not hear Chase still?
I can hear you guys, but I get like a. Here, let me see if I do this.
This feels like selective censorship.
There was just too much Josh for a minute.
Apparently, there's two of me. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. You're fine.
What the heck?
Yellow echo behind you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Let me see what happens if I do this. Oh, whatever. All right, we're gonna go with this.
Uh-oh. Now we really lost Josh.
Yeah.
I'll just have to trust that I can see Chase talking, because I have no idea what's going on here. All right, let's go on to race 7 here. I think we killed that race. The Ogden Phipps. So before, Caleb, I think you kind of went back and forth a little bit on this race, right? Didn't you think that this was the best race of the weekend, and then you went back and you decided that perhaps that turf race is the best race of the weekend?
No, I think everybody thought this was the best race of the weekend. And I was like, well, I mean, it's a good race, but I think that turf race on Friday was better, especially after the news that it sounds like Valiance is going to scratch. So that kind of knocks some starch out of the race as well.
Yeah, it's definitely not as good of a race without, because then it right now it's just a reboot of the Apple Blossom pretty much, and I don't know, like I was really excited about Valiance, but apparently so was absolutely everybody else. Holy fuck, what is going on right now?
Josh is breaking things again. He's just randomly breaking things as we go through chat.
I am breaking things, but I can hear Chase now. So I think we got it.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing, though?
We figured this out.
If we pop up the comment from Jay, what happened was he managed to magnify me with his hate earlier.
Look at this.
The hate in his heart.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
You look and sound great on stream. Okay, we figured it out. I had to refresh the browser. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a weird disconnect thing, and then all of a sudden Chase disappeared, but I hear Chase now. All right,
his hate pumped me up like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is what happened. Yeah, I was really interested in Valiance in this race and thought I was going to be unique and take Valiance going against everybody. And then when Valiance scratched, we found out that everybody on horse racing Twitter all had Valiance in this race. It left me kind of grasping at straws in this race because now naturally I want to go to Bonnie South, but I've been there, I've done that, and I've been screwed by that a couple times. Like Bonnie South 100% gets the pace set up, 100% does not finish the job. Dating back to Saratoga, I've had this happen to me. I think I want to lean towards Latruska on the souped up track. Latruska hits the lead and just puts it under a throat latch and doesn't let go of it. But it's so hard to say that Swiss Skydiver can't do the damn thing this time. But I mean, for the love of God, Latruska dueled Monomoy Girl into the ground last time. Of course, I mean, I have however old Monomoy Girl. I don't think they even thought they were going to be racing her this year. I'm so in the fucking weeds with this race after the Valiant scratch because that's 100% who I wanted. I'll say Latruska here. I'll say the horse on the lead holds the lead and goes all the way around on the souped up Naira track. because I don't trust Bonnie South, but I will use Bonnie South keyed in second place.
Yeah, I mean, I think going into this race, I had a couple people that were instantly trying to console me about the fact that don't bet all of my 401k on Valiance, because after the fact that she quite honestly outran Monomoy Girl in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, when you look at trip distance, she ran absolutely monstrous, and I had loved her going into that race, and just didn't get the trip. Sayas decided to ride her 3 ride around the track the whole way around. So effectively, she lost 6 lengths of distance given 2 corners at 3 wide, and she lost by a length and 3/4. So she was much the best in there. I couldn't wait for her to come back and be able to bet her again. And then it looks like she spiked fever, and I'm not going to be able to here. So if I think all 3 of the logicals in here make sense. Swiss Skydiver, Latruska, she shares the devil, or she dares the devil, who I can never pronounce right for some reason. All 3 of them make a ton of sense. I think it's whoever just has the best day and gets the best, cleanest trip. I know this is going to go against what our podcast said to do, but I will equally use all 3 of those on any tickets that I have coming through here. I feel like I have no opinion, and I feel like I have opinions other places in the sequence that I can make money on. So this race, I will use the 3 main players and call it a day. If you were to really twist my arm, She Dares the Devil will be my top choice, just in the fact that she seems to be the horse of now. Her last 2 have been very impressive, and she loves this distance. So, Cox has her right.
Well, on our podcast, like I don't. It wasn't necessarily Josh. That was Josh's take on it. I'm of the take that you should use if all 3 horses have a pretty equal chance of winning, that you should probably use all 3 horses, and that if you're going to take a stand, you're probably going to need to take a stand somewhere else. Yeah, sure. There's going to be a lot of money, but honestly, it feels like when you have 3 horses like that, then you're going to have equally a lot of money running through all 3. And so it's not the same as just like all money running through 1 horse or all money running through 2 horses. When you have the feeling that all the money is going to be running through 3 horses, like it makes it a lot less dicey. So I don't dislike that at all, Mark.
Okay. Yeah, I would say I wouldn't play a pick 3 through this or something, for instance.
No.
I wouldn't play, sure. But if I'm playing a pick 5, I'm okay just using all 3 and saying, that's kind of a free square for me, effective free square. And I'll make my money by having opinions other places and just sort of buy this race. I'm completely okay with that. And yeah, and I understand. I listened to your pod, and I thought you guys had some really good takes on how to approach this type of race. And I think it really depends on wager type, and it depends on sequence. And this is just not a spot in the sequence that I'm willing to make a staunch opinion.
Now, I do think that this is actually a great daily double race to be able to say,
yes, agreed.
To say that I'm taking all 3 of these horses, and taking all of these 3 horses is essentially like a poor man's equivalent to hitting the all button in this race. And then you've got it bookended on each side by turf races where you have larger fields on each side. So I do think that it makes it a lucrative double play using all 3 horses too.
Or there's probably a sequence or a structure where you could go use this as the middle leg of a pick 3. I did say not to use it in a pick 3, but you do have a spread of your races before and after. You can find some prices that you really like in those 2 and then kind of buy this. You could make it out where it pays okay. But yeah. I understand your logic. This is the type of race where you feel like, I know Josh is going to come out here and say, hey, there are 3 players, but I'm going to choose 1 because I feel I have to. That's not how I approach things, but I do very much respect his opinion in taking that sort of approach.
So, Caleb, do you want to give a level-headed approach before I just fucking mess up my hair and go nuts here? Or
so let me guess, we're shitting on Mark because he's using the 3 chalks in a 5-horse race.
Yeah. Well, he did, but
yes.
Generally, I would probably not. I try to avoid that, but like we talked about before, I think it depends on how you're playing it and what the sequence is. If you're playing a pick 5 and you're going to use Swiss Skydiver and Latruska and She Dares the Devil, like you better have like a couple lone A's that are not chalks elsewhere in the sequence. Is kind of my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Like, and Mark just said the same thing. I totally agree that if you're playing like a pick 5, maybe even still the pick 4, no, don't use all 3 horses here.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the prior race, Mark loved the chalk, which was Bound for Nowhere. And the race before that, Mark loved the chalk, which was Search Results. So I think at some point you do need to sort of distinguish yourself, but if you're not going to play that pick 3, then, or if you're going to play that pick 3 1 by 1 by 3 and play it for $100, I mean, I guess that's fine. You'll probably end up getting something like 3 to 1 on your money. But, I think that, somewhere in the sequence, you have to have a strong opinion that's not like, this 20 to 1 might jump up and win, so I'm going to put it as a C. Like, you have to have a strong opinion where you're against the chalk. So for me, I will say this is a tough race to really take a hard stance. I like She Dares the Devil the best here. I don't know what was already said, but that would be my pick here, I think. Basically, I think Latruska is going to get overbet based off of beating Monomoy Girl last out. I don't know how Latruska is going to respond off the Lasix. So, at 9 to 5, that's kind of a horse I'd like to be a little bit against. Swiss Skydiver is one of my favorite horses, but that last race, I saw someone said she had an infection. So, I mean, maybe you can excuse that. But and then the Breeders' Cup, I mean, she did stumble, but she's starting, and then in the Oaks, she had maybe a bad trip or a dead rail, but she's starting to pile up a few too many excuses for me at pretty short prices. So She Dares the Devil is the consistent horse that pretty much has been getting the job done for the most part. If she goes head-to-head with Latruska, it could get kind of ugly. And I think, I'm assuming Chase talked about Bonnie South, but that's the horse I think that can pick up the pieces. But that would be my opinion in this race.
But I don't trust Bonnie South to actually pick up all the pieces.
She needs a big step forward. She's probably more of a board hitter, but she's I would, if I was going to use 3 horses, I would not use Swiss Skydiver, Latruska, and She Dares the Devil. I would find a way to work in Bonnie South and, say that if I can't be 2/3 right with the top 3 chalks, then I probably just don't survive that race.
This is a great funk song, by the way. Chase.
I'm like looking back at the sequence and looking back at morning lines and everything. And so like looking at how everything is right now, like I do have contrarian picks with Miss Brazil, who I think I even talked about using as like an asshole single. I do have a contrarian pick with like Caddo River, things like that. I think I've bought myself a little bit of coverage here where if I have been right with Miss Brazil, if I have been right with Caddo River, then I definitely want to be alive to all 3 horses in this situation. That would be a situation where I could see using all 3 in like a pick 5.
So looking at chat, both British Gamer and Jay, I did highlight this earlier, but they both like She Dares the Devil here, and it's our boy PDT saying that Swiss had an infection before her last race. However, guys, so I had a bit of an existential crisis because I too was like Mark after the Valiant scratch, right? I mean, like I didn't know what to do. And then I realized there's only one thing to do, and that's to take the other fucking closers. So I'm using both Bonnie South and I'm using Queen Nakia in this spot. I'm fading the 3 chalks, and this is going to be how I make money this weekend. So I'm going to fade all 3 of them. This is probably where I go broke, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to toss She Dares the Devil. I'm going to toss Latruska, toss the 1, and yeah, I'm going to go with Queen Nakia and I'm going to go with Bonnie South. I mean, I guess Bonnie South makes the most sense here, and you got Rosario aboard, so the horse, like he's going to be able to finish on this horse. So all you got to hope for is that the pace is going to be fast enough up front, and I think that you're going to get plenty of pace to run into here. So it looks like Bonnie South has been working out pretty decently as well. Fired a nice bullet last out, so I think this horse is going to be primed, ready to go. So yeah, I'm going with a strict pace play here. And like Mark said, I think this is a great double race, and yeah, I'm going to definitely be doubling in and out of this race to both Bonnie South and to Queen Nakia, who ran a pretty decent race 2 back. Came back to Aqueduct and kind of flattened out, but lost to some decent horses and Horologist and Mrs. Danvers. I don't know who Lucky Stride is. Oh man, I turned Mark to the bottle. by taking these.
Like I missed it, but seriously, what is the logic of Queen Nakia running better than fifth?
It's 100% pace. It's 100% pace play.
100% pace. I don't care about the speed.
How does the
Royal Delta,
the pace.
look at the Royal Delta. The same exact thing happened. It melted down in front of her, and
you're expecting it to completely melt down, and so it has to melt down, and Swiss Skydiver has to not show up. That's your logic here.
Yep. That was a grade 3 against horses who I don't even recognize, like Air Race 2 and Bajan Girl. Like, who the fuck are they?
Josh,
look, this is why I'm getting 30 to 1. This is why I'm getting 30 to 1.
It's 30 to 1.
Right?
Okay, it's 30 to 1. I'll give you that.
Right. This is why I'm getting the price on these horses. Right.
He's making his contrarian play. He's making his contrarian play, and from a pace standpoint, everyone else wants to go, and Queen Nakia and Bonnie South are the horses that are going to be running from off the pace and trying to pick up the pieces. I 100% see where he's going with it. I 100% don't think that either one of those horses is going to win, but I also think that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So I am all for that play.
Look at here's the other thing, right? I know we talked about this earlier, but who's going to ride Latruska now?
Kendrick Carmouche.
I don't know.
What happens if they Rosario's already named on Bonnie South, but what happens if somehow fucking Fausto gets on the phone and says, "Hey, wait, gases."
I'll tell you what.
Tries to get him on phone. Latruska. What happens then?
Looking at who's entered here, looking at who's on the bench, there's no one I want more to sub out on this horse than Kendrick Carmouche.
Oh, no. You know who's going to fucking ride? Luis Saez is going to ride this horse. I 100% bet you.
There's going to be Saez. Else I want more on this horse than Luis Saez.
It's going to be Saez because he lost the Valiance mount. Because Valiant scratched.
Fuck it. No. Put Kendrick Carmouche on it because I think that he needs more opportunities in these level of races. He has earned it. He has 100% earned it.
Santana's on the grounds. It could be Santana.
Yeah, see, Jay's with me. Yeah. He's like, hey, it's a good contrarian.
Santana's ridden Latruska before, hasn't he?
Twice.
Yeah, he won on Latruska.
Oh, British Gamer says Mike Smith wouldn't be a bad replacement. Good thing. Yeah. I don't think Mike Smith is he on the grounds? Is he on the grounds?
He's always around somewhere.
I mean, if Mike Smith is on that horse, it's an easy toss. Fuck.
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking of being contrarian here. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try and get one of these off the pace horses. Most likely winner, I think, is Latruska. I think Latruska makes a ton of sense here. I think Latruska probably wins. But I feel like I'm going to get a price trying to play against Latruska here. So we'll see. We'll take a look. We'll see what happens.
I need to go get a glass of water. It's a very dry White Russian I just had. A lot of tannins in that White Russian, so I need to get something to kind of liven up the taste buds a little bit.
All right, Caleb.
Yes, sir.
Just a game. Going a mile on the turf here.
Ooh.
Giving him all the good races, huh?
Yeah.
This race, this is a doozy. It is. This is probably what I thought was, for me anyway, the hardest race to handicap in the entire Saturday card. Maybe the whole weekend.
I know why, too. It's because you don't have an 11 horse on your PPs.
That is weird. Mine goes from 10 to 12. I don't know why that is. I've hated blowout forever. I've hated blowout ever since that random race.
Caleb has hated blowout almost as long as I've hated blowout.
Ever since that random 2.5 horse field that was named after some lake, like the Lake George or Lake Placid or some lake race. That was a dead heat for fucking second or something. I was so mad. Yeah, that race.
That would be the Lake Placid, and fuck that race.
The Lake George.
Because that was
both. Yeah, Lake George was a 3-horse race, and then she dead heated with Varenka she lost to a dead heat to Regal Glory over Varenka and ran third.
Oh, that's right.
And I thought this horse was just a notorious chandelier, was always going to run second. And she made me look real dumb when she, somehow, stumbled across the finish line first last time. So I was against this horse heavy. And then I heard that Sweet By and By, the 2, was going to scratch. And all of a sudden, it's like, well, I mean, is this horse Lone Speed now? I'm like, I mean, Always Shopping, like, kind of has some speed, but it's mostly like marathon speed. And then, I mean, Abscond has been, she's more of a stalker, but, I don't know where else the pace comes from, if not from Blowout. So I expect her to get very loose. But I'm just not, I refuse to believe she can win a Grade 1 race. I refuse to accept it. So, I thought my top picks here actually were, actually both of the Godolphin horses here, the 8 and the 9, Althika and Summer Romance. They kind of took turns beating each other in the last start in consecutive Group 2s over in Dubai. But I'm just convinced that kind of what they were running against over there was going to be a lot better than what they're running into here. I mean, anytime Blowout is the favorite, it should be a pretty, damning indication of the quality of the field. So I thought both the shippers made a lot of sense here. And Appleby's done very well when shipping to the States. He doesn't send a ton of horses over, kind of like Aiden O'Brien or some others. But, in the past 3 years, I think he's like 3 for 7, which is pretty good.
That's right. It's a TVG glass.
Where do you go?
Is it black Russian?
It's just Kahlua, baby.
I brought you good bourbon. I realize it's gone by now, but I also brought you some Kahlua though. So
still here.
There you go. If I was going to go beyond, which I will be very spread this race, beyond the shippers, I kind of thought that the 12 New York Girl was a little interesting. I mean, I kind of hate everybody out of that Blowout race, but given that race was one gate to wire, New York Girl probably did the best job of making up ground, coming from next to last, 11 lengths off the pace to just missing by half a length. She actually outclosed OTWL, who's a pretty nice closer in her own right. So the 12 I'm very interested in at the price. That post is going to be tough, but that's a horse I do like. And then, I could kind of make a case for the 4 and the 5, assuming the 5 actually runs here. I think she probably makes a little more sense to go on Friday's race. But if she runs here, I mean, I think she would be a player as well, as well as the 4s. So, yeah, this is a race that I have no strong opinion at. So I'm going to have a lot of spread on.
I'm going to quit. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, British Gamer very much agreed with what my take was on the Godolphin horses. It's the, he posted it in chat. The Dubai form on some of those Godolphin horses was pretty weak. Didn't feel like the best of Godolphin horses. They're not getting Lasix. The UK form wasn't the best. Just felt like horses that were a little bit subpar. They didn't feel like the fastest horses. And so I sort of went a little contrarian in this race, and I really think I just need 3 horses. Caleb mentioned Always Shopping, the 5, Genevieve, Todd P, at 12 to 1, and a horse that very much fits on Figs, everything that I look at. The other 2 were the 2 Chads on either side, the 4 Regal Glory, and the 6 Pocket Square.
Yeah, I should have interrupted you because that's exactly where I was going with this.
Were you? Yeah, I was gonna say Arad is gonna get Arad's gonna get the top tier choice on
if he's back.
Horses.
If he's back.
But he was signed up to ride Pocket Square, so I'm assuming that is the Chad. And the other one is, Jose had choice with Regal Glory. Either way, you're getting pretty damn good prices on a trainer who kind of cleans house in these types of things at Belmont. And I think the 4, the 5, and the 6, if I have just the 3 of them, I'm looking at this sort of structure in sort of a pick 6 or a pick 5 sort of framework. And I've been eating some chalk. I'm getting some nice mid prices here that I feel are the 3 likeliest winners. I want no part of Blowout, especially considering it's a turf race and he's got not a turf jock on him. So, on her. And I think 4, 5, 6, and I'm pretty damn comfortable in here. And again, if my issue becomes more, if I go beyond those 3, I need about 10 horses in here because there's just a ton of, when you get off that, there's a ton of players.
So I'm actually on the other Chad. You said the other 2 Chads, and I didn't realize that there was another bastard Chad in here, and I'm on that bastard Chad.
Wait, you're on Blowout?
No, the 10 Tama here.
Oh, the other Chad.
Yeah, the other Chad. Like
Okay.
this Chad Brown. All right, so Chad Brown and his horses like are 100% like the scene in Jurassic Park where the guy's drawing a bead on the velociraptors, and then while he's
Comes out of the
focused on that,
side and flattens you.
yeah, one comes out of the fucking conduits and just except like in this case
Clever
the
little
velociraptor.
girl.
Yeah, instead the clever girl in this situation is instead a horse, and the thing that it eats isn't a person, it's your bankroll's booty hole. That's how that works. So I like the 10. I like Tammy here. I feel like Jose is having like an underrated turf meet so far at Belmont.
Did you take the look at the jock that's on the 10 in the race?
Yeah, Jose is having an underrated.
Jose is not on the 10.
This is what it says for me is Jose.
Yeah, JJ got them out. Jose went.
Okay, so
Jose went to the 4, and not beating you up, Chad, or not beating you up, Chase. I agree with the take here, but I thought Tamahir was arguably the best Chad on paper, but I said, geez, why is Jose getting off this horse? That was my head scratching thing. So I sort of shied away from Tamahir. Did the Arkansas internet just strike?
That's okay, I want to make. I was afraid it was me.
No, it's not you. No,
look at the pose, though.
That was a great pose. Oh, there it goes.
So he called me Chad, and then I locked up the whole time. I've just been screaming into a fucking empty Doritos bag and getting ready to take it to a goddamn 11. No, I
lost his
have
audio again, but I'm guessing you guys laughing means he's going on an epic rant.
Yep.
So I pulled the advanced PPs like pretty much as soon as they come out. They have a Jose Ortiz listed. I'm a little less enthused with Jose Ortiz, off and with JJ on. But I mean, still, I would use it. I feel like the pace fits. I really like off the pace horses on the Widener turf. Because I just feel like the sweeping turns, the Widener turf are made for it. And yeah, man, I think this is the Velocichad that fucking, does it to everyone. So I'm going to stay on Tammy here despite JJ. And I will use Pocket Square also. I do like Pocket Square quite a bit as a fashion choice and also as a pick in this race.
What are you guys seeing in Pocket Square that I'm not? I mean, other than Irad, because that horse is coming out of an allowance into a grade 1 and is not fast enough to win. I mean, at the second pick, I'm aggressively against that horse. I mean, what do you guys see there?
I saw that Irad had choice on multiples. And
is it just Irad? I mean, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's it. Okay. It's literally the fact that Chad's number 1 jock decides to choose that horse over other options. That's 100% the reasoning. And it's one of those things. If it didn't work so often, I wouldn't do it, but it works.
If you look at the Briz pace figures too, it's a tie for the best late speed figure with Regal Glory. They're both sitting at 102s with a huge kick. He's got the pattern that I really like of the E1, the E2, the late speed all increase all the way through. So he's got that like one run Widener turf horse look to him. Like I really feel like the horse fits to her. Pocket Squares. When's the last time?
It does seem like a very masculine name for a female horse. I do agree.
Yeah. All right. So I feel like not only does the horse fit the race with the pace, but the horse also fits the course as another thing.
I mean, how does a one-run closer fit a lone speed pace scenario? Like, what am I missing?
It's the Widener turf. It did not hold speed today. Who's your lone early speed? Just Blowout?
With the scratch of the 2, yeah, I think it's gonna be Blowout.
Do you trust Blowout?
No, but I mean, I don't want somebody coming from last either.
Going to suck.
If you don't trust Blowout, Blowout's just fucking ornamental at that point, running on the front. He's just Blowout's a goddamn hood ornament, is what we've just established, basically, with your line of thinking. Am I wrong?
Look, you're starting to sound a lot like those guys who talked me out. Who was that lone speed horse in that Gulfstream pick 6 that like started it off?
Oh, dude, I had that horse.
The one that Dave was all over?
Yeah,
it was a churn something. Was it Churn and Burn? No,
It was the championship meet. Saez was aboard. It was just like the fucking like
it was
the
on main. It was on the mandatory day on the Gulf or on the Florida Derby card.
Yeah, and someone talked me out of singling that horse, and the horse was like a runoff winner. Fuck, I forgot what horse it was. And the horse just always does it, just fucking runs off and wins. Anyways, Blowout's going to win this race. So I don't know why you guys wasted all that time. When you guys, Blowout's going to win, and Tommy here is
wrong.
You don't like Tommy? You just talked about Tommy here.
No, I'm talking about Blowout. Blowout is
Blowout is always wrong. Always wrong.
Yeah,
Blowout's a lone A for me, and Tommy here is going to be a lone B.
Blowout is the female equivalent of truck nuts, like just purely just dangling there for show.
Josh, I need to know what your pick 6 is here, so that when Blowout knocks you out of the pick 6, I can have the rest of the sequence.
Okay, we'll talk afterwards.
Thank you.
I will say that the 9. I mean, I'm sure our British gamer friend can probably comment more than I can, but from the time form comments, it sounds like this horse has speed, and they do put Luis Saez up. So, yeah, does this horse have like American speed? I don't know. But this horse might be more forwardly placed than you would expect for a typical, European turf horse.
My issue, I wanted to love Summer Romance so badly, but my issue is the horse just isn't fast enough. Time form figs are just, 15 points too slow. It's just not even close.
Same thing you could say about Pocket Square.
Sure, but
touche.
Valid point.
Wait, Caleb. Fuck Valid Point.
For?
Is Valid Point running anywhere? Fuck that horse.
I'm sure he's in some allowance at Arlington or something.
God, that fucking horse.
Some shit track like Arlington.
All right, let's move on to the
best race of the year.
Best race of the year. Best race of the year, and I think that you single Mischievous Alex and move on. Mark, what do you think? Chase, you agree with me? Chase is going to agree with me. Chase is going to agree with me. I want to hear Chase.
I 100% asshole single Mischievous Alex in this race. I am scared of Nick's Go shipping back from Saudi. Like, I don't know if the horse is going to perform coming off the ship out, especially after how the horse performed for the ship out to Saudi. Like, the horse really laid an egg in the King Abdul Aziz stakes there, and I'm not sure if I trust it. Like, I've been burned by that Dubai bounce before. I really like the looks of Mischievous Alex in this race. I mean, Nick's Go is going to run its eyeballs out from gate to wire, but I'm not sure if it's going to be informed to actually do the job. And if I'm going to pick a horse that I think is going to beat it at 100%, I'm all about the Man Bun. Stylistically, it's just a fantastic choice. I feel like it's indicative of a really free-flowing lifestyle, that and herpes. And I think that Mischievous Alex, I'm going to try to get around Nick's Go because I do not trust the horse shipping back from Saudi.
Yeah, I very much agree with you on the Nick's Go shipping back. Don't trust Nick's Go at all in this race.
If it were 2 turns, I would go by my standards. But since it's 1 turn, I'm going to try.
Yeah. And I don't know if Nick's Go really wants a 1-turn mile either. I think he
doesn't.
Really does he really want a 2-turn mile, which I think is probably his more his forte.
Yes.
Yeah. So I honestly think I very much agree with that. So all of a sudden this race becomes wide open, and I'm going to be freaking 4 deep in a 6-horse race, and I'm going to make Josh's head explode. I'm going to use Mischievous Alex.
Say the words doctor in post, I'm going to slap you.
I'm going to use Mischievous Alex, doctor, and post.
What the fuck is Dr. Post?
Yeah. Who the hell is Dr. Post? I'm also going to use Silver State in here as well. I honestly think I do not, maybe Nick's Go's B game is good enough to win this if he brings his B game coming back from Saudi, but I want spread in this race, and I think there's a high calamity factor in here if Nick's Go doesn't run his race. Now, I'm 4 deep in here, so I will put Nick's Go right in the winner's circle. Caleb knows this. Caleb bet the 401k on Nick's Go, but I'm going to be real deep here in spread, and I feel like I have opinions in other places. I don't have a great opinion who's the best here, and so I'm okay spreading.
So if you're going around Knicks Go, that's once again, it's like downstream justification for your opinion that you can go 3 deep in the Ogden Phipps with Latrusca, with She Dares the Devil, and with I mean,
I'm completely okay with it.
Yeah,
Can I just confirm, Mark? You're 4 deep
I
with
agree.
Knicks Go or without Knicks Go?
With Knicks Go.
Hold on.
Whoa,
Let me take first crack at
I
this. No, I got
about
first
you.
crack at this. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. So Mark, you mean to tell me that you're gonna take a horse that came up short at Saudi and is gonna come across here? I don't know why I sound like Michael Jackson.
Get
come
him.
across here.
You look a little like Michael Jackson as well.
Get him.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
It's gonna ship back and have a Saudi bounce after being short at a short price. This is the kind of horse that you want to use as an A.
I honestly think if Knicks brings his A game, he's just better than this field.
I would like to thank Josh
and
Rodriguez
also
for bringing his high pitched gangster voice into the ether.
And also he was short at 1 1/8. We're
That's
not
what you're telling me.
We're not running 1 1/8 today. We're running a mile. In a 1-turn mile at that, where it was 1 1/8. I think it's 2 turns at Saudi, but or is it 1 turn at Saudi? Probably 1 turn at Saudi. It's a big track. But anyways, I'm gonna go 4 deep here, and I'm gonna put Knicks Go right in the winner's circle.
I'm anti your strategy now that I know that you're using Knicks Go. Just for the record.
All
I'm-
your
I'm
podcasts
pro
earlier,
Jason
I
strategy.
regret them.
I immediately regret being not only just
You see, my thing though is I'm
not only
talking
cheering you
more,
on, but being your friend at this point.
I'm more of a pick 5, pick 6 player, right? If I was playing a pick 3 or a pick 4, okay, you have to have an opinion in here. But I'm more of a pick 5, pick 6. So for me, the structure is more stay alive, not getting knocked out, being cute. And I feel like if I'm not 4 wide in here, I'm just being cute because I think there are a number of horses in here that are legitimate win candidates. And, it's one of those things. Oh, you're going to say, oh, geez, I'm going to toss Knicks Go and Knicks Go wins. And it cost me a $50,000 pick 6 because you had prices you liked other places. That's a stupid long-term strategy from an ROI standpoint.
Yeah. Okay.
ROI.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but from what I've heard, I mean, you don't have prices you like other places.
Yeah, but with the last race, I like a 12-1. Come on.
Yeah, okay, maybe if she ends up.
And in the words of Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, survive.
I think this is a race. You very rarely will I say this, but I think you have to single Knicks Go or toss him completely. I don't think this is a race you can spread and include him completely.
I will toss him completely, and I will asshole single Mischievous Alex.
If Knicks Go runs anything that he's run since going to Brad Cox's barn,
I will look very stupid.
Tossing out the Saudi race, he wins for fun. And if you think that's the Knicks Go that shows up, then you single him and you move on. If you don't think that's the Knicks Go that shows up and he bounces off the Saudi race or something went wrong in that race or he doesn't carry his speed as well around 1 turn or whatever you think the case is, then I think you toss him and you can use, as far as I'm concerned, the other 5. I mean, I don't think you can really spread here and use him. For me, I'm amazed at the fact that By My Standards is 10-1. And I've been a big By My Standards fan for a long time. I know that everybody in the world thinks he's better going 1 1/8, but I don't. I think he's, if you look at his pedigree, I think he's a miler. I mean, is he a 1-turn miler? I mean, I don't know. That might be a bit of a stretch. But I think that he's better at a mile. I think he's competed against some of the best horses in the country. I mean, Improbable, Authentic, Tom's D'Etat, a few others, and never disgraces himself with the exception of the Breeders' Cup Classic where I think he went too far, and then a bit of a head scratcher at the Clark, which I have no idea what happened. Had some traffic and just didn't really respond, but cut back to a mile at Oaklawn and pulled off the win. I think that he makes some sense here. It looks like Knicks Go might get loose on paper, but with the 2 sprinters stretching out, I think the pace might be a little more honest than we would think. I'm definitely not against Mischievous Alex at all either, who Josh and Chase like. But for me, I think By My Standards is the horse. I don't know if you actually get 10-1, but if you do, I'll have a lot of money going through him just straight up to win at that price.
Hey, can we pop up Jay's comment about Hunka, and then can you go to me on the single cam? No, down one. About Hunka. There we go. Okay, single cam. I still don't believe that he actually beat Hunka. He finished second in that race. I saw the photo, and I still don't fucking believe that Hunka was second place.
Poor Hunka.
Fucking Hunka, man.
We all keep trying to will Hunka into the winner's circle, and it didn't work last weekend.
God bless that horse. He just tried. She just tried.
He's such a trier.
He's a trier. He is a trier. He tries so hard.
Reminds me a little bit of like a welder. You know, just a horse that's going to go out there.
Just tries so damn hard every time.
Just a lunch pail kind of horse.
It looks like I saw. I know we had a bunch of stuff. I know Road Warrior was a big fan of Silver State, comparing him to Matoli, but
no, I love your Road Warrior, but that I don't see it at all.
Yeah, that's a big comparison. I think he's in good form. I think he's a nice horse. I don't think he's a Met Mile horse. I mean,
they're both gray.
He'll win some races.
Can we all agree, though, that this is a fairly horrific incarceration or whatever version of the Met Mile?
I mean, like, if Nick Sko didn't go to Saudi, I guess I wouldn't hate it as much, because I think Nick Sko would be a clear winner here. But I really believe in that Saudi bounce. So I just don't see how Nick Sko wins this race.
So I was talking to somebody about Nick Sko the other day, and they brought up the point of Nick Sko was originally pointed to the Sexton Mile at Lone Star. And then once news broke that Charlatan got injured and he wouldn't be running, they kind of rerouted Nick Sko to the Met Mile. Does that change your opinion of Nick Sko at all?
I don't like reroutes.
I don't like reroutes, and I don't like the fact that he was going to Lone Star. Like, it wasn't like he was going to target, a different grade 1. I mean, he was going to go to fucking Lone Star in a grade 3. I mean,
that's a super shady. Like,
it's a soft prep, right? Like, it's a soft prep into something over the summer. They're gonna give him a soft, easy race, and they're gonna point him at Del Mar or strip him to Saratoga or something, get him into a real race. So you assume that the Saudi bounce is real, and he needs one.
Yeah. I mean, for one, I don't like the reroute, because I feel like usually with the people have intentions for what they want to do with these horses. They usually know what their next move is going to be. So they have a training cycle. They have a plan that they put these horses on. And so I don't like when you take them off of that cycle. And now knowing that it was like a leg stretcher G2 kind of race, and now you're popping up in the fucking Met, like that makes me.
The Met Mile is historically one of the 5 sire maker races in the United States. This is one of those. You win this race, you're a legitimate sire.
And it's because it's the king of the race of the bastard distances. I feel like 1 mile is 100% the bastard distance of, you're not a sprinter, you're not a router, you're not racing the classic distance, and it gets overlooked as, horses that are supremely talented at this distance 100% get overlooked. And so it's like the 1 or 2, it's like this and the BC mile. Like, what else are you going to hang your hat on if you're made for that distance?
I would say this is kind of the exception, though, to that rule, because it's a 1-turn mile. And we've seen a lot of sprinters, Matoli, case in point, be successful stretching out to that's a huge win for a horse like Matoli. And you see a lot of horses that are successful cutting back from 1 1/8 or 1 1/16. A 2-turn mile, I would totally agree with you. It's kind of the bastard child that doesn't really fit. But I think this 1-turn mile, you get horses like Mischievous Alex and Lexitonian in this race, Matoli in years past, that do try to stretch out and oftentimes can handle it.
Well, I mean, it seems like if you're looking at it from like a breeding and auction purchase standpoint, I feel like no one goes into like auctions thinking, I'm going to get a badass miler. Like, I feel like everyone's like, okay, I'm going to get a badass sprinter with a big old badonk ass on it, or I'm going to get like a bona fide long lean 2-turn router. That's just kind of
my line was that they refer to this as a sire maker sort of race, because horses that have won this race historically have become good sires. It's just one of those sort of things. It's like you win the Kentucky Derby, you win the Travers, Breeders' Cup Classic. Yeah. There's a few races.
You win this race, you got some sweet balls. That's for sure.
Yep, exactly.
You get to clap cheeks 3 times a day, 6 months a year.
Just
Josh,
top
you like
notch
Mischievous
balls.
Alex here? That was your pick?
I like Mischievous Alex. Like, I guess you could make a case for. I guess you could make a case for Dr. Post. I mean, if you look at time form, the fig makes sense. And his last race, it kind of matches up with the rest of the kind of the rest of the figs in this race. I mean, Silver States looks decent as well, but I don't know. I think Silver State wants to go a little bit longer, or at least he's had a little bit more success. I think going. Well, I guess he's won a bunch going 7 furlongs as well, but they weren't particularly fast. So
he's never missed the exacta at a mile.
Yeah. So yeah,
Dr. Post is the hard one for me to figure out what to do with. I mean,
who the fuck is Dr. Post?
Dude, I still don't know. I don't know if I've ever actually run. I don't know if I've actually ever seen this horse race.
You have, because you keep saying you've never seen this horse race, and that Winchester was a hell of a impressive race. So there's a chance that maybe Dr. Post stepped forward as a 4-year-old, and you're going to see a real legitimate miler who's a classy horse.
I mean, maybe. I think he beat up on a bunch of New York breds in that race. I mean, Mr. Buff, Limonite, Backside of the Moon. I mean, those are aqueduct horses.
Looking back, they ran the Belmont. They ran the Belmont almost a year ago. So it means it's almost the 1-year anniversary that we've been trying to figure out who the fuck is Dr. Post.
Josh knows who he is because
fall of last year, and
he ran 3rd in the race that New York Traffic lost to Authentic by a nose.
Oh,
God bless.
Caleb with a trigger warning. God,
it's all right, dude. Another sappy horse is gonna make me all that money back in Queen of Kia. So we're all good.
It only took almost 2 hours. But Caleb finally chose violence.
But yeah, I mean, I really like Mischievous Alex in this spot. I think Dr. Post makes a bit of sense as well. But other than those 2 horses, I'm not really interested in anybody else in the field. So,
ooh.
Yes, Chase.
Oh, may I take the Manhattan, please?
Yes, Chase, Manhattan.
Okay. Here's the deal. I was all over Guffo. I say Guffo.
What's his name?
Guffo.
That doesn't sound right.
Guffo. Oh, Guffaw.
Guffaw. There we go.
I was all over Guffaw last time. And the problem was that Guffaw really ran into a biased track last time. It was a track that was made for Channel Cat, and Channel Cat only barely beat Guffaw in that race. Now, if you give Guffaw a soft track, I don't care, or softer track, I don't care how much of a pace advantage Channel Cat has. It's a hard single. I'm not even looking anywhere else. It is 100% Guffaw time. 100%. Just from my lips to the God's ears, fucking Guffaw gets it done. Like, if you can almost outrun a bias like Channel Cat had, like Channel Cat, you can just go ahead and toss that last race because you're 100% track aided. Guffaw wins this going away.
Caleb, this is a turf race over a mile, so I know you got thoughts.
Got some hard opinions on it, I'm sure.
I totally respect Chase's opinion. I think Gufo was the best horse in that Man of War. He had a rough trip. I honestly think that it was a bit of a mistimed ride as well from Rosario. I think he just waited too long to get clear and to set his horse down. So I think
blame Rosario always.
He's I think one of us didn't like him in that race, and a couple of us did. And I'm not going to name names, but he ran a big race. And the other horse that I do like a lot here is a horse that I absolutely hated in his last start.
Colonel Liam.
No, the 4 Domestic Spending.
Okay.
I thought he ran a better race than Colonel Liam.
All right.
The pace was slow. Smooth Like Straight had it his own way up front. And, we just saw Smooth Like Straight come back to win the Grade 1 Shoemaker going a mile at Santa Anita. So, I mean, he's a classy horse in and of himself. And Domestic Spending had to come from farther off of that pace than Colonel Liam did. And he had to go wider. And for him to dead heat, and if I'm gonna not believe a photo, I thought for sure Domestic Spending won that race. But I thought he ran the better race than Colonel Liam that day. That was his first start off a long layoff. He should improve here. Second off the layoff, second start as a 4-year-old. I think there's a little more upside here. And I have just not been a Colonel Liam fan for the longest time because he's winning and his form is good, but his numbers really never blow you away. I mean, his last fig was pretty strong, but that's the first standout speed figure he's really run. And again, he tracked a moderate pace and barely held off Domestic Spending, who I thought had a much worse trip. So I'm going to use the most of Gouffroy and Domestic Spending.
Yeah, so I very much agree with everybody on Gouffroy. Although Gouffroy is not my top choice. I do think Gouffroy makes a ton of sense in here.
You go fucked up is what's up.
I go fucked up. Okay. He is a little pace dependent, needs a little bit of a setup. Although he's a super logical horse, and I think the 5-1 morning line is a pretty. Yeah, it feels pretty juicy at 5-1. That's kind of a win bettable price on Gouffroy. I've hated Colonel Liam forever. I don't know why I've hated this horse, mainly because he keeps hurting me. But I think Colonel Liam is one you have to use in here. And the horse I'm going to put on top is sort of a weird Chad. It's sort of the other Chad, and that is the 8 Tribunin. Or Tribunin, I don't know how the hell you say the name. Besides breaking the reins in the Fort Marcy, he's perfect at Belmont. Eric Cancel up, which is probably going to scare other people away. But if you look at the figures on this horse in both buyer's terms and in time form figs, this is a horse that just kind of really is impressive against this field, especially at those sort of odds. And he's going to be forwardly placed. He's going to basically sit up right off Bye Bye Melvin. And if this track comes up at all speed favoring, he's going to sit a hell of a trip and just needs to finish. I think at 8-1, yeah, no, you're getting the other Chad, but of the Chads in this race, that's the one I'm most interested in.
Is it the sire's name Toronado?
Yeah, Tornado, who was a hell of a miler.
I'm aware of a dance move called the White Tornado, but I was not aware of Toronado as a sire.
Is this an Arkansas thing?
That was the White Tornado.
I mean, I'm not really here.
I don't have any cords, so I can go all the way around. In a white Tornado.
Oh my god!
Not made by the Dodge Corporation.
I like 2 horses in the spot. Colonel Liam, I think, makes a ton of sense. After the Muniz, I kind of got on board on the Colonel Liam train. So I used him last time at Turf Classic, and I think he makes a ton of sense in here as well. He's a pretty versatile horse. He can come from 6th or 7th. He can come be close up. He's going to be 2 lengths off the lead no matter how many horses are there. So I think Colonel Liam makes a ton of sense. Time form likes Colonel Liam. I know Briz kind of likes him. The speed figs aren't great, but the class rating is really good. So another horse I'm going to use though is the other Chad. So not the other Chad, but the other Chad. And that's going to be the 5 Masterpiece. I thought after Masterpiece's last race at Keeneland, I thought that maybe this was going to all of a sudden be Chad, but number 1 coming out of his barn. If you look at that Belmont fig and the Hirsch Classic, that fig is really fucking good on time form. And I think that this horse is a real player in the spot. I think that this horse, the more distance, the better for this horse. So I think 1.25 miles is going to be perfectly fine. And I think this is Chad's. This is going to be Chad's new number 1 Masterpiece here. And I think 6-1 is a very, very fair price to take on this horse.
I'm skeptical.
So
I feel like Chad's number 1 won't present itself until Saratoga.
Oh,
Yeah,
Caleb gives me a thumbs down.
I like
Wow.
Caleb. I like.
Wow.
So
I
wait
mean,
a second.
congrats. He won an allowance at 1 to 2, and he's now in a grade 1. I mean,
And you realize what horse Rosario took choice on at almost the same odds, right?
It always seems like we go really hard on Josh for his opinions in this stream, and that's always the horse that wins. And then whenever he's like, "What now? Chad's number 1 horse," we're like, "Yeah, what the fuck ever," and just forget about it.
I'm telling you, this is what turns me to like making those highlight videos I make in my like spare time and sending them to you guys and never posting them. This is this kind of abuse. I mean, I guess I mean, Gufo makes sense here, but
it's our charity that we don't make the Jakarta video to go along with it as a companion series.
That's very true. All the cheap speed I've taken that's lost, that would be real bad. But I really like the other Chad, or the other Chad, in Masterpiece. I think this horse makes a ton of sense. I think this horse just wants distance. So hopefully this horse finds a 1.5 miles soon. But I think 1.25 miles will probably be enough distance for the horse. So
what about the other Chad, which is Rock Emperor, huh?
You like Rock Emperor in this spot?
No, I forgot Rock Emperor, but
Rock Emperor's got to be in your top 10, like your top 10 horses that you hate.
He is. He's like 8, 9, or 10, but he's in the top 10. He is.
That's the other Chad.
So you saying that just 100%. It reminds me just like why I hate turf races greater than 1 mile in New York from the months of like April through September, because of just the whole. Well, if it's not the Chad, it's the other Chad. If it's not the other Chad, it's the other Chad. Like, it's just so, motherfucker, get 2 horses. You get 2 horses per race, and if you can't win with those 2.
Jay really likes domestic spending. He says, when has this division seen a horse like domestic spending?
Yeah, but if he had an actual turf jock, it would be a better spot.
You got to stop that hate for Pratt.
So I feel like the deal with this division is that there never is a horse that's actually showed this good. There's a horse that has a good performance, and then they always just take turns beating each other until they retire. Like it's like Channel Cat won last race. It was just Channel Cat's turn, and because it hadn't been Channel Cat's turn for about 5 or 6 races. That's my feeling on this entire division. Like, do I think that domestic spending is like transcendent of that level of talent? Maybe. We'll see, but I have a feeling that until he actually proves it, and he's going to have to prove it here, that it was just his turn last time, and it will be about 4 or 5 races until it's his turn again. I've drank a lot of Kahlua, Jay. I've had a lot of Kahlua, Jay, so...
I honestly did not realize that domestic spending was 3-1 in this race.
More than my favorite.
No, Colonel Liam is 5-2.
Oh, Liam's a favorite? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, second choice. My bad. Yeah.
I want a lot of domestic spending, and I think Liam I'll try to beat.
I'll have 3 servings of Gaufois, thank you.
Extra Gaufois on the side.
Speaking of servings.
Gaufois is French for Kahlua, FYI. So we haven't talked about this horse, and I feel like, Caleb, like we need to talk about this horse. What about the 7 Channel Cat?
Can we not talk about this horse? Because I don't need this much Caleb rant in my life.
Channel Cat won. Channel Cat won the
here we go.
War.
It's going to be 15
and is coming back
here we go.
12-1 in this spot.
I wouldn't bet Channel Cat at 1,200 to 1 because he got away with murder. Like, nobody pushed the pace. I think like every turf race that day was won on the lead. You know, the Naira jocks were, deciding to, play fucking Farmville on their phone instead of try to actually ride to win. And, they let Velasquez go out there and wire them. I mean, he got his 1 win of, the millennia, and, Channel Cat will not be seen or heard again for the next at least, 10 to 15 years.
I thought it was interesting that they put him at 12-1 on the morning line.
Because everybody, I mean, even David Aragona knows this horse fucking sucks a big one.
Oh my God.
Here we go.
There we go. All
right, we've already been there, but there's been some,
Well, I mean, all right. Well, we're at the Belmont. After this marathon stream, we get the 1.5 miles. The I don't even know what to call this race. Like, I was gonna say like the jewel of the Triple Crown, but
The test of the champion, dude.
test of the champion. Yeah, champions such as Taprit,
Irish War Cry.
Irish War Cry
You
won
didn't
this
win
race.
that. No.
No way.
Drosselmeyer.
Creator.
Drosselmeyer.
Hold on.
What about Cloud
Drosselmeyer.
Computing? Cloud Computing? Did he win this race? Or
No,
did
he won the
He won the
Preakness?
Preakness, yeah.
See, I don't. Who? No one even fucking knows who wins this race. And
It
my
was,
own
I said
Sir
Drosselmeyer.
Winston.
Sir
yeah.
Winston.
Sir
My
Winston.
God.
Did Sir Winston ever run again after that race?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
ran a turf race at Fairgrounds and
He was
lost,
running-
I think.
He was running.
Yeah, but it's a
marathon
CDI
races.
track. Who the fuck bets CDI tracks?
I'm Josh.
That's right. Taprit did beat Irish War Cry, as Road Warriors pointed out.
Yeah.
Creator. That's an Arkansas Derby winner that came back and won the Belmont.
I made money on him that day. I made
Me
quite a bit
too.
of money on him that day.
Me too. We are
I
saying
made,
we have dimples.
I made a lot of money on. I made a lot of money on Sir Winston. So
I
We
did
have
not make
dimples,
money on
haircut,
him.
and same jawline. We are same.
We're
You
basically
and
the same
I.
person.
So I know we saw a couple things.
I'm like what Caleb gets eats to get to before he hibernates for the winter and just lives off of this physique.
Oh God. We
You're beautiful. Just don't listen to him, but Caleb.
So it seems like there's 4 kind of short price horses here in Hot Rod Charlie, Essential Quality, Rock Your World, Ron Bauer. Not in that order, obviously. And then you kind of get your longer shots in Known Agenda, Bourbonic, France Godina, and Overtook.
I would say 5 and 3 more so than 4 and 4.
I mean, I think Known Agenda's got literally 0 shot to win this race, so he might as well be 60-1 instead of 6-1.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like this horse in this race at all.
0? So you wouldn't bet this horse at $1,000,000 to 1?
Oh,
at
I put $1 on it. I'm not dumb.
I wouldn't bet Channel Cat at $1,000,000 to 1.
No, you would. You motherfucker, you would.
I might.
But and of course, oh my goodness, Road Warrior's Naira
Bourbonic.
is just showing.
Look at this guy.
This motherfucker just going Bourbonic on top.
Jay and I have had an adversarial. I'll let someone else go first, but I'll say Jay and I have been quite adversarial through this whole stream. But I agree with him here.
Jay and I are like seeing eye to eye, with the exception of the hate on Chase, because I love Chase. But this just in, Rock Your World goes wire to wire in the Belmont Stakes. That's kind of how I see this race. I could possibly be talked into singling Rock Your World in this spot. I think the only other horse that I would want any part of would be Essential Quality. And other than those 2 horses, I think those 2 horses win this race like 80% of the time. So
yeah, 100% agree with you, Josh. I think for Rocker World is a lone A for me. And, probably an Essential Quality. And, man, probably a little bit of Rombar Rombar's on that sort of BC line for me. But I think this is the race I feel I can get pretty aggressive to.
I totally agree. Full disclosure, I already have a $100 win bet.
Why are you doing this?
Rock Your World. 9-2? 9-2 on Rock Your World, who has the fastest fig in the field in that San Diego Derby.
By quite a bit.
Anyway. Lone speed, probably. And you have to toss the Derby. 9-2. I mean, I bet him in futures already at 9-2, and I will have everything going through him. I will key him in exactas, similar to Josh. Essential Quality is the horse that I do respect. Had a really wide trip in the Derby. Probably was the best horse that day. But yeah, I think those are the only 2 horses that I'm really interested in. Ron Bauer and Hot Rod Charlie. I mean, yeah, they could win, but I'm not going to be 4 deep here. So I think that I'm going to have the majority of my money going through Rock Your World, and I respect Essential Quality's ability as well.
So this is how I see this race actually running and playing out, is that I see Rock Your World kind of out loose on the lead. I see Essential Quality kind of stalking with him. And I feel like unless Essential Quality actually decides to get pumped up and stick his neck out in front, that he's not going to beat Rock Your World. And that I see those going 1-2 pretty much merry-go-round all the way around. But I feel like the real surprise and the real shockers that you're going to get are going to be the underneath horses. And for those, I'm really interested in using Bourbonic, and I'm also really interested in using Overtook as your just trifecta, superfecta sweetener horses. That after the other horses that have, relatively same running styles as Essential Quality, are probably going to fade out of it, probably get a little bit rank trying to chase. There's a lot of pedigree questions with some of these. You see a lot of Curlin. Way to go, Curlin, for putting this many horses in the Belmont. But I feel like a horse like Bourbonic could 100% sneak up and get a piece underneath that APND on the top line. With Overtook has that look of a horse that I feel like adding blinkers is going to be a little bit more forwardly placed. It's a Todd Pletcher horse in the Belmont, and it has that pace figure style that I really like, of just improving to a huge figure in the late speed. Like, I think Overtook hits the board and gets a piece. The end.
Road Warrior says, and I think Overtook sucks.
I'm not. Hey, Andrew, Road Warrior. I'm not saying this horse wins. I'm not saying this horse wins at all. But I am saying third place, fourth place, that horse is in the mix.
I mean, you have to create. If you want to bet this race vertically, you have to either, wait up and go big or toss a chalk.
Yeah, because it looks like 1 and 2 are going to be chalky as fuck.
But to me, I think this race chalks out hard. I don't think the 3 bombs have a chance to hit the board. I think it comes in some combination of 7-2-3-4. I mean, 7-2-4-3, 7-2-3. I mean, maybe a bomb sneaks into 4th, but I don't think the top 3 will be anything different than the top 4 choices.
Jay, what did I ever do to you, bud? Just type it into chat real quick. What did I ever do? What did I ever do to you?
Oh man, good little Road Warrior. He's always good for a Naira. He's like the poor man's David Aragona. But yeah,
who's just Murphy? Murphy is the poor man's David Aragona.
No, well, Murphy just looks like David Aragona.
He sounds like him too.
He sounds like him a lot.
Did you guys notice that I asked him for one thing today? I asked him for one thing, which is a shot of him on the beach in Hawaii, wearing a Hawaiian shirt with a tropical drink in his hand. And he's like, guys, I can get 2 out of those 4. I didn't see a picture today.
Whoa. Sounds like me to pick 5.
Hold on. Pop up. Go back to Overtook. Go back to Jay's comments. Let's pop this up and let's take a look at this real quick. You're really fucking sweating me about a maiden special weight at fucking Aqueduct where he was 5 wide? Come on. Like, I'm. How much does that literally play into your decision making after the horses run in the Withers and the Peter Pan? I feel like you're just grasping at hate straws, anger straws.
Jay is a big fan of ours.
Not today, Jay.
He's also a big fan of our boy Papo. I know I see him talking in Papo streams whenever I check it out. So,
Jay, I'm just fucking with you, man. Just so you know, please keep watching. I'm 100%. I'm 100% just fucking with you. I'm really just being a wrestling heel at this point after this much Kahlua.
Oh man, well, we made it through 9 stakes races in fairly decent time, I thought, for for what we
2 hours and 9 minutes.
And we talked about Friday too. So, Chase, I know you got some stuff going on tomorrow. What do you got going on?
Tomorrow I will be on Always Be Racing on America's Best Racing, their ABR live stream. It will be 3:00 Eastern, 2:00 Central. I've got a new podcast that I've picked up. It's called the Gymnasium, spelled JIM Nasium. It's me and XFL Jim on Twitter. If you don't know him, give him a follow. He's pretty entertaining, and we're pretty good.
Yep, I'm excited to hear you guys break down week 4 of the NFL this week.
Yeah. Well, we've still got spring league games, and I was watching the Alphas and the Conquerors earlier.
What was the team that you were rooting for? The Sea Lions? You big Sea Lions guy?
That's my Sea Lion noise.
Yep, big Sea Lions guy. And I'm sure he's going to be pumped about the USFL coming back too. I saw that 2022 USFL coming back, so I can't wait to talk about that.
I hope they reinstitute the Memphis Showboat so I can make the 2-hour drive to see USFL games in the Liberty Bowl.
Hold on, here we go. Chase, this will make you feel better. Kay saying, I agree with Chase about everything.
Okay, I'm sorry. I feel bad.
How much are you paying her or him?
Is that a Chase alt?
Well,
it's an
hold
alt.
on.
100% alt.
I feel like it's that there shouldn't be a coincidence here. It's not a coincidence that K and J are separated by one letter, and I feel like he's just sneakily giving me. I'm just fucking with you, Jay, man. I'm really just messing with you, dude. Like that's it. I like having someone to pick on a little bit. But yeah, I don't think K and J are the same person. I'm not K. And God bless you, K. God bless you.
I'm jealous. Red Warrior is going to be at Belmont. That's going to be awesome.
I was actually looking at possibly trying to come up for Belmont a couple
Tickets
weeks
were
ago.
expensive.
Tickets were expensive, and flights to New York from Chicago are usually pretty cheap. So I was like, fuck it. Like, I'll just do it.
Go into Albany, take the train on. Cheap.
But yeah, it was not cheap. I don't know what happened. No, it was not.
Man,
cheap at all.
Road Warrior is just like Belmont through and through. He's gonna bump into Essential Quality on his way to the bathroom tonight. Like, just 100%. Like, he's gonna be knocking on the wall, just like, "Hey, keep it down in there, Guffo."
Caleb,
Gafwa.
So, Caleb, are you playing any of those tournaments this weekend?
No. So yes, actually. So there's a cheap one tomorrow on ExpressBet. I think it's like, what is it, $80 buy-in or something? $80,
like yeah. I'm jumping in that one.
I'm gonna jump in that one for sure, and it's like a feeder into Saturdays. Hey. 1,500 live bankroll on ExpressBet, so I'll jump in the feeder for sure. What's up, Chase?
Josh, how much money do we have in the On the Wrong League kitty? Because there's a tweet here from the Oaklawn Park Parody account that says, just curious why all the podcast genius folks in horse racing have not put a commercial on TVG yet. We got to buy one, man. There's no way that Tommy Copper has deeper pockets than we do.
Right next to the Star Guitar commercials.
Yeah, man, we can buy out the catheter industry and get ourselves a commercial on TVG.
Dude, so I work in hospital IT, and I'll tell you right now, those hospital catheter procedures cost a shit ton of money. So they might be deeper pockets than you're thinking over there, Chase.
I would hope they're a well-funded industry.
Mark, what do you got going on this weekend? You got any tournaments or anything?
I might hop into that ExpressBet 1,500. Caleb and I were talking about potentially splitting one, but judging how he is with his father and picks, I think we probably should do separate entries because we're gonna have the same problem.
Well, the problem with Caleb is he listens to his old man too much.
But if you get him and his old man on the phone, they have that twang, and that's
true.
Caleb gets more southern.
He gets
more West Virginia.
More southern. Nothing planned. I don't know what sequence I'm going to target. I'm thinking the Saturday pick 6 is the one that I'm most interested in, just because of the base bet. Maybe the 2-day pick 4. Besides that, I don't love any sequences, so I'm thinking something like that express bet might be fun, where I can just try to slam some doubles and see where I can get to.
Jay, are you talking about Big Al's gal? The 4 and the 12? I like it. They're running this horse back after it ran last Saturday. They don't feel like this horse had a bobbled start. They don't think that this horse gave everything that it had to. I actually like this 4 and the 12 quite a bit.
Wait,
Big
tomorrow?
Al right here. Yep.
Wait,
On Saturday. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
Saturday.
On Saturday. Yep. Yeah, I'm probably the same as you, Caleb. I'm gonna take a look at that tournament tomorrow. Next Express Bet. There's a couple of prices I think I like in those stakes races, so I'll probably take a stab. See if I can qualify for Belmont on Saturday, and then I got some money in my horse attorneys account, so I might jump into something there.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm probably just gonna be playing doubles most of the weekend. Some of the sequences I just didn't feel like I had a good grasp on things to have a ticket where I would be comfortable with. So, we'll see what scratches look like. We'll see how the track's playing, and we'll kind of go from there. But Mark, I don't know. Have you guys nailed down what you guys are doing tomorrow yet?
I think we're doing just a Discord capping session. We're going to hop into voice and kind of walk through some of these sequences, stuff you might be interested in playing, how you might structure it out. Obviously we cover like horses we like on this sort of stream, but we don't necessarily turn it into, I'm going to target this pick forward. Here's how I'm going to play it. And I think EBD and myself, maybe Josh will hop in as well, might sit down and kind of narrate some of that and tomorrow in Discord and try to pull some people in and, maybe get some, hey, here's how you might want to approach this. Here's how, not necessarily giving you opinions, but kind of putting in, here's how we're going to tackle it. Here's what we're thinking. And maybe you can put in your own, geez, I like this price or that price that I want to add in as well.
Just to be on the safe side, if EBD asks what your address is, just don't tell him.
Don't tell him because just be a little careful.
Yeah.
You look like Caleb, definitely don't tell him.
Yeah.
Don't.
Venmo does not ask for the first 3 and last 4 digits of your phone number, just so you know.
Yeah. So Evil Bob Bill saying more bet focused and handicapping. So talk a little bit more about structure and things like that. We try and talk about that here, but sometimes it's hard, 2 days out to talk about it. I mean, it's even hard to do it the night before, I'll be honest. Because sometimes, you get scratches and things like that.
Jose just posted up something with a picture of a rad. A rad says back in a couple of weeks. Looks like he broke his arm. So I would assume a rad is off everything tomorrow. So that's actually a pretty massive deal.
Yeah. That completely changes a lot of the stuff that we might have even just talked about. So
yeah,
this is a great 2 hours we just fucking wasted, guys.
Well, I would put it that you have a deep enough colony in New York where there are a lot of good jockeys on the sidelines. If you see a jockey move, it's more than likely a jockey's moving to the horse he thinks is the better horse. Just because another jock gets up doesn't necessarily mean that opinion is invalid. It just means that is there something intrinsic that jock brought to that situation? More than likely not.
So with no Irad, who's the best herder in New York?
Jose.
Okay.
It's Jose. It's
that was just a sanity test. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were saying
honestly, so for all the I've always been a fan of Jose Ortiz. I think that after that injury he had, was it 2 years ago or was it a year ago now?
Or this
about
year?
a year ago when he broke his wrist.
It was like a year and a half ago or so, right? He
went down a Gulfstream, yeah.
Yeah, after that injury, it took him a while to kind of get his feet back, but Caleb pointed out to me at the end of the Aqueduct meet, he looked like Jose again. So I feel like you can trust him again. And I've always liked Jose on turf. I think Jose is a really good turf rider.
Is his wife still pregnant? Because it seems like when they're expecting
she popped.
Okay, like when it seems like they're expecting a kid, like it seems like he always gets a little bit more tentative than he normally would be. So like if he's finally fully back from the wrist thing, the kid's finally here, I kind of like Jose. Jose's been riding pretty well, man.
There's sort of an under the cover story, which is that Jose has had knee issues for a while now, and he took some time off, and he has sort of been fighting knee problems for a while. So I don't want to throw that into too much, whatever, dirt or whatever, but Jose has been not quite himself for at least since Gulfstream fall.
So I do want to bring up, I highlighted Mr. Joe Marcello, who did couple months ago now did send me this nice lovely bottle of Weller Antique 107 from Ohio, where like apparently this stuff is like kind of plentiful, but it is not in the rest of the world. So thank you, Joe. But he did say, what 2-day bet will you attack if you had to pick one? And he likes the $2 pick 4.
I agree. $2 pick 4 is the one I would be attacking, just because $2 base, you get big payouts. Look at something like the Golden Shower Double that's gone $5 now. You've seen these just massive payouts, and first choice over third choice, and all of a sudden it's just a massive payout. I think that 2-day pick 4. That's a pretty cool wager. I would avoid the 2-day pick 6 just because I don't love the race selection, and I think it's $20 base. Not
even with a lower pick, even with a lower takeout, there's no way that pool gets right enough for that to actually really pay anything.
Agreed, 100% agreed. I think the 2-day pick 4. If you're looking at a 2-day, that's the one I want to tackle.
I like the pick 6. I mean, the pick 4 is a good bet, but it's 24% takeout, and half the races I have zero opinion in. If I was going to play one,
you just got to scale up, right? You just got to scale up the pick 6. Like play for 60
I wouldn't say that.
Wait, the 2-day pick 6 or the
2-day pick 6? I'm saying I can afford to spread more in the New York and the Belmont Gold Cup, where I really don't have strong opinions. But I do have stronger opinions in some of the other races in that pick 6. Whereas the pick 4, half the sequence, I really don't have a good opinion. I'm going to be 4 or 5 deep, and that's just not what I want to do in a pick 4.
I think the New York double between the New York and the Met, I especially if you're anti-Knicks go, that's a really good bet because you have a huge field in the New York, and especially if you try and successfully get around Harvey's Little Goyle. I think even if you use Harvey's Little Goyle in that race, if you get around Knicks go in the Met, that's a great bet.
That's a good bet. I agree, especially the double takeout's like 18.5%, so it's actually quite a bit better than the pick 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Stephen Fox says he's staying away from all 2 days. Probably a smart plan after the 2-day BC debacle.
Yeah, but the problem is that from a weather standpoint, which is what he's pointing out, there's really no weather called for on Saturday. There's a chance of some weather Friday, but I don't think it'll affect anything Saturday. So, the 2-day debacle was more the two of us being morons than anything else. So.
Joe saying Mark is going to start the marathon with both O'Brien horses. Book it. Believe those were 2 horses that he did pick. And yeah, Jay saying that we see him a clash lot, but he respects your opinion, Chase. He enjoys a different opinion.
So Jay, I'm sorry, man. I hope I didn't turn you off from watching this. Like, I've completely dominated these other 3 fools to a point where I need someone adversarial. So I appreciate the dissenting opinion. It's fun to argue, so I'm for it. I've been watching a lot of Sports Center and people yelling about sports, so I'm big into that.
So you're saying that you're the combatant in the room?
I'm the Stephen A. Smith of this room.
Oh God, mother effer. You said
that's a very truculent take.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. We've talked these sequences or these 9 stakes races to death. Yeah, if you guys aren't part of Discord, I think there's a link in our YouTube channel. If not, you guys can DM me on Twitter. I run the On the Wrong Lead Twitter account. I can get you guys an invite. We're going to do that Friday thing. And then, you got our Twitter handles. Mark is at 2_turns. Chase is at of Oak Lawn. Check him out on ABR tomorrow with Summer Rae and Shorty.
Her
Shorty
name's Danielle.
Fletcher.
It's Blackjack and Danielle Mounier.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, most people probably know her as Summer Rae.
That's fair. Her name's Danielle.
And you did call him Blackjack, so
yeah. That's for legal. That's for legal purposes.
Caleb's at Caleb WVU. I'm at Cherry Drank. I haven't looked at actually, Caleb. I was going to ask you, have you looked at the Stable Duel? Got anything this weekend, or are they like not in Naira?
No, they don't carry Naira tracks, which is kind of disappointing. I don't really know why, because it's not like, Naira's not CDI or anything. So a little bit of a bummer. Maybe Chase can talk to his good friend Bree Mott and see what's going on there. But yeah, not a whole lot going on. I mean, they'll have some decent stuff at Santa Anita and probably Pimlico or Gulfstream, but nothing I'll be too excited for.
Cool. Yep. And like I said, we're in Discord. Catch us at.
I'm probably not going to do that, by the way.
We're on Twitter at wrong_lead. And we will catch you guys later.